शक्ति हूँ सबब में लोगों से प्यार करने की
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this first formal press conference hosted by His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali since his return to office following a landslide victory achieved by the People's Progressive Party Civic at the September 1st general and regional elections. Members of the public and of the media will be aware that President Ali has outlined an aggressive, ambitious agenda for transformation of our country for the next 5 years. This agenda is articulated in detail in the PPPC's manifesto, which you can find, of course, online, which was launched before the recent election, as well as His Excellency's inaugural address delivered on the lawns of State House on September 7th. His Excellency and his government have already started working, as you would know already. And the work is already picking up, and so His Excellency, of course, is wasting no time. Before I pass the mic to Kit to take us through this press conference, I'd like to address something. I have noted a public post by the editor of Starbuck News, Mr. Anand Prasad, claiming that an invitation to attend His Excellency's press conference today was not sent to accredited media. I'd like to state explicitly that this is false. A call was placed to Starbuck News' accredited representative, Ms. Marcel Fowler, at 11:02 this morning, along with a written follow-up at 2:30 this afternoon. And I also want to state explicitly that every person sitting in this room also received a phone call from me. With that said, I'd like to now pass the microphone over to Mr. Kit Nascimento, who will guide us through this press conference before you hear from His Excellency.
Thank you very much. Just to let our public know, as I advised you earlier on, we will take roughly 6 questions. If the President allows me, I might tolerate a 7th one. It is 1 question, there will be no follow-ups, and I will begin with Kurt Campbell.
Before you begin,
Sorry.
I would like to say a few things. First of all, let me thank the media for your presence. As you're aware, we have a very hectic and transformative agenda for Guyana. And we have started the work on implementing this agenda that will see remarkable transformation in our country from an infrastructural perspective, which is a physical perspective, from an economic perspective. But importantly, the government is focusing heavily from a service orientation perspective. That is the efficiency, reliability of government services, the removal of bureaucracy, the ensuring that we reduce costs in doing business, all of which will improve the competitiveness of our country. So I am very pleased this afternoon to go through some of the things that we are accelerating on in this phase of transformation. There are also some issues that are of a global nature that I think we must address also today. As you're aware, during the campaign in the last 5 years, we made it very clear that we have to do something about our city. The condition of our city, the mismanagement and inefficiency through which the city is managed can no longer be tolerated. And we believe that it is time for us as citizens and as a country to take charge of this situation. And I want to launch from the government work in advancing the rescue of Georgetown. Let me say that it is my opinion that in the coming year or years, we'll have an opportunity once again to choose a type of leadership in the city that will allow us to see this city transformed and managed in a way that will make all of us extremely proud. Notwithstanding that, we have launched, with the help of the King's Foundation, a city revival plan that we are now going to move forward in implementing. As you know, the government over the last 5 years has spent billions of dollars in infrastructure work in the city, including drainage, roads, parapets, cleaning up the city. And the city, Georgetown City, is a life heart of our country. It's the capital of our country. And we want to ensure that the city projects an image of sustainability, celebrating our heritage, showcase our inclusion, our economic transformation, and the cultural heritage of our country. Therefore, we are advancing a national strategy for sustainable urban development, first of which is focused heavily on the city itself. Implementation begins in Georgetown and its surrounding region, the country's largest urban area, where major investments since 2020 have included highways, drainage upgrades, and a high-span bridge over the Demerara River. These efforts are helping to drive economic growth, improve quality of life, and are complemented by the large-scale expansion of service housing lots to meet growing demand. The First Lady has also spearheaded a movement to enhance both urban and rural landscapes, giving rise to cleaner, greener, and more pleasing environments. In support of the urban development framework and a wider vision for Georgetown set out in the Low Carbon Development Strategy 2030, 15 flagship demonstration projects are to be advanced. Projects such as development of recreational spaces, the enhancement of places of architectural heritage, the inclusion of biodiversity and celebration of our biodiversity in the city itself, and a series of educational programs that would be aimed at behavioral change and public education on the way we treat the city, on our own behavior within the city itself. The Urban Framework Plan identifies 5 essential qualities that defines the city identity, qualities that must inform future development: the garden city, landscape, and biodiversity. Indeed, this is the identity of the city in this region and across the world. We therefore are going to work aggressively on ensuring that this identity is recreated, is expanded, and that our city tells the story of this identity. The story of Georgetown history, heritage, and built environment. The city's architecture reflects the history, the heritage, and the built environment. Therefore, we will be pursuing a number of initiatives, including the walking trail around the city, looking, for example, at the old transport building, the train station, and rehabilitating that area into a museum, also having it doing exactly what it's doing now, that is training young people in machining, engineering, and offering that service to the Transport and Harbors Department. In addition to this program, as you know, we spoke about the Stabroek waterfront development. That is another area that would see immediate work. For a matter of fact, over the last 48 hours, we have reviewed a number of reports and design options on the Stabroek waterfront development, the improvement of the markets, enhancement of shopping areas and other public areas. So the waterfront celebrates who we are, the land of many waters. This plan involved embracing the waterways, Georgetown historic drainage canals, our core infrastructure, supporting both flood management and the city's unique landscape. Therefore, we will be working on the enhancement of all of these drainage canals in a touristic manner, so that it forms part of the story that we want to be told about Guyana and the city itself. The country founded on villages, community, and self-governance, rooted in a history of indigenous and post-slavery village system. Georgetown's civic life is shaped by strong traditions of local planning and communal values. That is celebrating our culture, celebrating our art in the city itself. So you would see, for example, in the Lamaha enhancement, which is the railway courtyard, in a few months, as you walk through the entirety of this courtyard and the enhancement there on the old railway embankment, you'll be walking through the history of Guyana, told in pictures and images. So our school children, visitors, and everyone would have an opportunity to walk through the history of our country in images and pictures. Now, important is that the LCDS is what underpins all of these plans, celebrating who we are in a low-carbon development framework, which means reinforcing the values of harmony, sustainability, and inclusive development. The draft urban framework plan identifies a few priorities to protect the city's character while enabling sustainable growth. Deliver housing, infrastructure, and communities for growth, reduce traffic congestion, and promote sustainable transport, protect and enhance heritage, identity, and character, improve sanitation, cleanliness, and waste management, build resilience to flooding, heat, and climate events, restore urban landscape and green space, and enhance experience and support sustainable tourism. To achieve this, there are 5 thematic clusters or areas that we'll be working on. The strategic urban expansion. As you know, the city is self-expanding itself. The green infrastructure and connectivity framework, which includes creating greenways, tree corridors, climate-resilient transport links, and public realm upgrades. Historic civic core revitalization, which is restoring and reimagining central landmarks such as Stabrook Market, Water Street, and its transport and harbors development site. Agro-integrated growth zones, blending agriculture and urban development to support food security, innovation, and low-carbon enterprise. And the natural and cultural heritage anchors, ensuring that nature, culture, and identity remain central to Georgetown's future. So these are some of the plans that we will be activating in an aggressive manner as we work on rescuing Georgetown and positioning Georgetown as one of the finest capital cities in the world. Outside of Georgetown, of course, we have plans coming on stream for the Outer Georgetown Demonstration Zone, which is a new low-carbon market town located southeast of historical capital, piloting a replicable model for sustainable urban growth near the city core. The Silica City Master Plan implementation, the Georgetown Transportation Strategy. So I am pleased to say that we are now progressing with a clearly defined plan for the city, the private sector, and every stakeholder, of course, the mayor and city council, and every stakeholder would be part of advancing these plans. Our education system, the Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, all would play a critical role in advancing this transformation of our city. And I believe it is necessary at this very first press conference to clearly define the work that we are going to embrace on rescuing and rebuilding our city. Now, the second issue I want to address is that of agro-business development. As you're all aware, we have said very clearly that agro-business opportunity, food security, and agriculture is not only going to be a priority of the government, but it will be an area for investment opportunities. And we have to create, through the infrastructure we invest in, and through the type of partnership we build, this ecosystem to support the business and economic opportunities out of the agro-business development hub. As you know, we are positioning ourselves as a regional food production and logistics hub for the Caribbean, linking South American supply to Caribbean demand, partnering with Northern Brazil in Roraima and the Dominican Republic are central to achieving these objectives. There are some strategic infrastructure projects that we must pursue, as you all know, in advancing our competitiveness. However, I wish to say that today, that over the last couple of days, we have put together a team comprising of stakeholders in the agriculture sector, the private sector itself, the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Finance, and investment bankers to work with Northern Brazil, the state of Roraima, on technology transfer and co-investment opportunities as we build out this ecosystem to support the agro-business development hub. As you're aware, we already have with the US an ongoing project with Bloomberg Grains where they're building out their regional food hub. So the ecosystem and investment to add value to the production chain is now critical as we position ourselves to be a major food exporter in the region itself. We also want to work with mega farms, co-invest with mega farms, with our local agricultural sector so we can accelerate our production. We're looking at 100,000 hectares of land to be converted into large-scale mega farms, looking at corn, soybean, coconut, spices, cocoa. All of this we have been able to advance in the last week. We have put together a team, and within the next 4 weeks, a clearly defined investment model and a clearly defined integration between Dominican Republic and Roraima will be arrived at so that we can accelerate the investment and development of this very key sector. I want to reiterate that whilst the government is creating an enabling environment and supporting our agricultural sector with the investment in infrastructure and technology, that we want this to be heavily private sector driven. And we want to see the co-investment opportunity between major players in the regional and global market and our private sector itself. One of the opportunities that is being accelerated is the emerging opportunity in large-scale cocoa production in the Pomeroon, where we want to convert not only the Pomeroon, but the Pomeroon and Region 1. Also the resuscitation of the coffee industry. So that's the second issue that I wanted to advance. The third is the improvement in our healthcare system from a service delivery perspective. As you know, we have to move our healthcare system to a more service-oriented care system. We have invested heavily in infrastructure, in the modernization of the healthcare system, in the building out of our human capital. So the focus now must be on service delivery, on reliability, on ensuring that our citizens receive the type of care that we've invested in for them to receive in building out this world-class health service. To begin with, the material management unit and our regional bonds, they are now being upgraded and updated. For a matter of fact, we have secured the service of Ernst & Young, who are looking at the policy and procedure development, which is the establishment of a supply chain policy and practice based on leading standards. This work is ongoing, and we hope that the first phase, which is to have the MMU system itself going live, would be within the first quarter of 2026. And within the second and third quarter of 2026, it will be fully integrated into a regional distribution system. The system would have visible alerts on low stock level. AI will be built into the system to help in the management and distribution of medical supplies and drugs across every single region, with a level of automation that would improve efficiency, enhance delivery, reduce spoilage and expiry of drugs and other supplies, and improve the overall system so that our citizens can benefit. It will also bring us in compliance with the best global standards. Now, we have already commenced the construction of regional bonds in Region 1, 2, 6, 9, and 10. That will be the physical infrastructure to support this digitization and technological advancement in managing the material management unit of the Ministry of Health across every region in Guyana. Now, the second aspect of the work in modernizing the healthcare system is the electronic patient health record system. The initial phase of this project involves digitizing the records of all patients at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. Work commenced in March of 2025 and is expected to conclude by mid-2026. Patients' records at the Georgetown Hospital are expected to go live by the end of the first quarter in 2026, and then this will be rolled out across the country. In addition, the Ministry of Health would have launched a pilot online appointment system at the Festival City Polyclinic. This is a system on the testing. As you know, we don't want the lines that you see in the hospitals and clinics. So we want to move the system into an app-based system where you have appointments so you don't have to waste your time or sit at these clinics for hours. So this pilot is being tested at Festival City Polyclinic, and we are anticipating that it will be fully implemented at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation within the first quarter of 2026, and then in all other regional hospitals and clinics across the country. The phase 2 of the program would see the 6 new regional hospitals connected to the system, as I said, by the second or third quarter of 2026. Outside of this, the One Health project, which is a $15 million project, is being implemented, and the aim of this is to enhance our diseases surveillance, enhance our laboratory system to a level 3 system, and to enhance our human resource capacity through recruitment and training in pandemic preparedness. This is a major challenge globally, and every country now is ensuring they have the system of surveillance, the lab to support surveillance, and the human capital in preparing national health systems to respond to identify and respond effectively to pandemic, to be prepared. And we are not waiting. We are already investing in this system. As you know, the expansion in our healthcare system continues. Over the last 3 years, 25 new health centers and health posts have been added. This year, we have 10 new facilities under construction. At each health center, we'll aim to deliver a minimum of 116 different health interventions, including those for non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease. We want to ensure that we invest heavily in primary health care, preventative medicine, through public education, early screening, early access to lab facilities and testing, so that we can have not only an effective primary healthcare system that protect persons or reduces the risk that we have in terms of the type of diseases that we have now, but also ensuring that the next generation of Guyanese who are coming up, that from a very early age, we have enough data, enough screening to support a long and healthy life among those persons. the next generation of Guyanese. So to do this, we have the school health program, which will see the screening of all children in nursery, primary, and secondary schools. We have the women's health program, which will expand the breast cancer screening program, and it's now offered at Georgetown Hospital. It's offered in Linden, New Amsterdam, Saudi, and Lethem. In all of these areas now we have the capacity and capability. And we have the expanded program for cervical cancer, including HPV vaccination, using Gardasil 9, HPV testing, and treatment. So I want to make this very clear. We are also investing in the treatment. We have advanced talks during the last week on pushing forward the oncology center and to find the right formula and to see the private sector interest also in supporting this initiative. As you know, we have spoke heavily about dialysis. Currently, the government of Guyana assists hundreds of patients every year who require dialysis with a $600,000 grant. During our consultation in the manifesto and with a body that has been formed to support dialysis patients, it was brought to our attention that there is need for more public dialysis stations because the private ones, as we increase the grant, are also increasing the costs per session. So we have added dialysis stations in every one of the new 6 hospitals. But in addition to that, I'm pleased to announce that before the end of this year, we'll have 15 new dialysis units operational in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. So before the end of this year, they will have 15 additional stations in our public care system. So I think that is also a tremendous improvement that we are advancing in the early days of our government. Now, another issue that I want to address is that of the Guyana Power and Light. As you know, we need to make enormous investments in the smart grid transformation. And these investments, of course, require technical expertise and support. Now, GPL has outlined a number of major projects that we must invest in building out a full-scale smart grid, which includes the transmission and distribution expansion, the construction of approximately 155 kilometers of double-circuit transmission lines, 343 kilometers of primary distribution lines across region 3, 4, 5, and 6. This, if you have to invest in, is a budgeted cost of more than $400 million US. The building out of substations and upgrading of existing substations in Georgetown, Garden of Eden, Kingston, Unverwacht, Edinburgh, Good Hope, Columbia, with smart distribution equipment to support grid automation and reliability at a approximate cost of more than $300 million. Of course, we have the river crossing underground cable, as you know, from time to time because of the draft of the river and how busy the Demra River has become. We have issues in terms of the underground cable between Vreden Hoop and Kingston substation. So we will have to, GPL will have to invest in ensuring that that cable is protected and deep enough to ensure is not disrupted or disturbed given the current use and expanded use of the Demerara River. The gas to energy project, we had a full assessment of this project in the first week. From the news, you would have seen the Prime Minister visiting. The advanced metering infrastructure, the National Control Center, the interconnection with Linden, and that is the expansion of the network to interconnect with Linden, with the Demerara-Berbice interconnected system, and also the construction of distribution substations at Bamia, Mackenzie, and Wismar in Linden. Of course, you know the development on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway requires also investment, and we are now investing. GPL is now finalizing the plan for the investment in the transmission and distribution network across the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. The smart equipment rollout, the installation of the smart meters for all customers, smart switches, automated reclosers, fault indicators. All of this is not only to enhance quality, but to reduce line losses, to reduce leakages in the system, and to enhance the efficiency and reliability of the system itself. GPL is also in the process of finalizing arrangement, as you know, to implement all of this project, given the current supervision costs that we pay consultant. It's from their estimation, it's over $40 million to implement this entire program. They're trying to complete negotiations with InterEnergy for a 2-year program that will only cost $15 million that would help in the supervision of all of these projects, plus the modernization of the management system and a total overhaul of the system itself to enhance efficiency and reliability. So therefore seeing great cost savings as they work towards finalizing the technical advisory support and supervision, helping in project management oversight, contract management, the smart grid integration, capacity building, and reporting. So all of this investment and the partnership will modernize Guyana's electricity infrastructure to international standards, enhance energy security, reliability, and resilience, enable cost-effective integration of renewables and advanced technologies, support national economic growth, industrialization, and environmental sustainability. I also want to say that given the plans that we have, when you look at what we want to achieve from a manufacturing, industrial, technological perspective in terms of data centers and the type of energy demand, it is clear that we will have to accelerate work on the second power plant and then work on the new gas project to Berbice so that we can ramp up energy production if we want to be that energy hub in the region itself and be the energy capital to attract investments and investors that would, expand our economic base, create jobs and opportunities for our private sector and people here. Part of enhancing the experience of persons coming into our country and even our own Guyanese is the border control and e-gate system and e-passport issuance system. As you know, we have to be compliant with international standard from a security perspective, from a technology perspective, so that our documents are secured. And you've seen that we have been gaining places globally in terms of our passport recognition. And all of this have to do also with the safety mechanism and system that support our border control, our e-gate system. And we have to ensure that our system is rigid and strong enough to identify threats and to in a proactive way, give information to deal with those threats. So the border control and e-gate system went live in January, while the e-passport issuance system went live in February of this year. The new border system has resulted in improved security at the airports and border crossings and assured accuracy and reliability in the verification of the traveler, using state-of-the-art technology and rigorous processes aligned with International Civil Aviation Organization standards. The e-passport provides the Guyanese citizen with a next-generation travel document full of advanced security feature and functionalities to facilitate safer and more efficient international travel. Currently, the online passport application portal is in the final stage of development and is expected to go live before the end of this year. We are hoping, not hoping, this system would eliminate the lines that you see at the passport office. We'll have a decentralized system where appointments are booked online, and you will go to the nearest service center to you. And on that topic also, we are now creating service centers in every region to have an integrated office where citizens can go and have any government services dealt with at that office. So they don't have to come to the capital. The ease of doing business, a great efficiency in the use of time, and at the same time, we are graduating all of the service to a digital platform. Now, the public service digitization and government efficiency system. As you know, a few days ago, I held a meeting with all the IT heads and outlined the digital transformation plan aimed at fully digitalizing all government services before the end of the second quarter in 2026. I have announced the appointment of the Chief Technology Officer, who will be supported by the NDMA to manage the digitization process and to implement a digital platform to monitor and track key performance indicators for government agencies, ensuring greater transparency, accountability, and efficiency. The National Digitization Initiative will be driven by strategic focus on digital infrastructure, artificial intelligence, cross-agency collaboration, and integration of ICT systems, so that we will have a common framework, a common system that is speaking to each other, that is integrated, that reduces the time to do business, that improves transparency, and this is across all agencies, including the security agency, the way in which you get a security clearance, the way in which you get your birth certificate, the way in which persons apply for a death certificate. All of these systems are actively being migrated on a digital platform. So, commencing this week, a survey is being conducted to gather information on the current state of digitization, not only in the government, but across the private sector, because the private sector will need to also advance at a similar pace in this digital framework. So we have to have a thorough understanding as to what is happening in the private sector also, and how we ensure that in creating this digital space, we have every citizen owning a bank account, for example. And we are moving on a number of options in dealing with this matter, so that if every citizen have their bank account, then the education around using your digital cards, your plastic cards, rather than checks and moving money, which makes it more transparent, easier to track and everything, becomes the gateway of creating fintech opportunities in our country. Now, I have been talking a lot so far about government efficiency. Maybe I'll just let me speak about a few more before I address an issue concerning our farmers. As you know, we introduced free university education. As a result of this announcement, which removed financial burden and barriers, making higher education more accessible to all Guyanese. And as we anticipated, applications have doubled at the University of Guyana, particularly in high demand areas such as medicine and engineering. To meet this demand and ease pressure on the Turkine campus, we are working on launching in the coming weeks programs across different regions. While medicine and engineering are the immediate focus, an assessment is being carried out on all other programs at the university. So, we have, in the last couple of days, determined that in medicine, we are ready to implement a rollout in Region 6, creating 30 seats for the study of medicine at the New Amsterdam Regional Hospital. Of course, when the new hospital is completed and we expand the infrastructure, we'll be able to increase those seats in Region 6 based on the demand. We have already identified the academic staff to support this program in Region 6, and of course, it will be supported by the Berbice campus. They are now doing the final assessment in Region 6 to ensure that the furniture, the administrative mechanism, the lab equipment, and IT connectivity are in place to operationalize this before the end of the year. In Region 3, we have identified the teaching space, and as I speak to you, gap analysis in terms of lab and staff required to support the seats in medicine Region 6 is being conducted to operationalize more seats in medicine in Region 3 before the end of the year. The same exercise is being conducted in Region 2 and 9, where we hope to expand in different areas of medicine. Just for you to have an understanding, we had 418 applications in medicine, more than 130 qualified. The seats that we had was 60. Of course, we had invested in 50 additional seats in Turkine, bringing it to an intake of 110. And with the readiness of Region 6, that's another 30, taking it to 140. So you had 130 qualified, and we'll have 140 seats ready that will meet the needs of those qualified. In engineering, in mechanical engineering, all applicants can be accommodated this year at the University of Guyana. In civil engineering, we have 241 students admitted. 50 qualified applicants remain to be admitted, and we have been able to put systems in place to create 30 seats in Region 3, 30 seats in Region 6, and 30 seats in Region 2 for the study of different disciplines in the engineering faculty of the University of Guyana in these 3 regions. So that would allow students to study closer to home, more comfortable environment, and of course reducing their costs of transport and make more productive use of their time. So another important issue that the population has spoken about, especially in our manifesto consultation, was the modernization of our financial sector, which includes improved and easier access to banking services and the promotion of digital payment systems. I have tasked a team which includes the Ministry of Finance, the Bank of Guyana, the banking sector, to identify the gaps in the financial sector and develop an action plan to address these gaps. The team has been tasked with submitting to me this plan within 4 weeks. And they'll be looking at making it easier for persons to open a bank account in terms of simplifying the documentary requirements, making borrowing easier by reducing the documentary requirements, especially from new businesses, encouraging more lending using movable assets for which the legal framework has been established. The registry is yet to be operational to facilitate this, and I've given instructions that steps be taken to ensure the registry becomes operational. Most importantly, promoting more electronic transaction via online banking, faster payment system, and other electronic means, ensuring every Guyanese can have a bank account, and ensuring that every Guyanese, at the end of this whole modernization, can conduct a financial transaction within minutes from wherever they are. I've also established a team, as you know. We spoke about a SME development bank. You will recall that we have committed in our manifesto to establish an SME development bank, which will provide financing to small businesses at zero interest with incremental collateral requirement. So a team has been established in order for us to accelerate on this commitment. I have established a group of experts to develop an appropriate model for this bank, taking account of global experiences of similar initiative. Their work will comprise of reviewing global experiences with establishing SME development financing institutions, outlining the legal framework or context within which the institution will be established, defining the institutional, administrative, and financial structures that will be needed to support this initiative. The team is expected to report back to me within 6 weeks. As you know, successive PPP civic governments have ensured the establishment of an open, transparent, competitive public procurement system. But over the years, the sheer volume of procurement transactions that we now process and the scale and scope of our agenda for transformation are exerting new demands on the system. Our objectives are maintaining the open, transparent, competitive system with the highest standards of accountability, whilst at the same time promoting the emergence of a wider pool of suppliers of goods and services to government by facilitating new entrants and creating opportunities for new and small businesses. In this regard, I've established a team to commence work on defining reforms needed to the procurement system to achieve these very objectives. The team will examine any legal and regulatory changes needed, and as well as administrative and technological changes that would be needed to support the realization of these objectives. The team is expected to report back to me by the before the end of this year. The system would look also at a tier system of procurement. Dealing with services, again, one of the main issues in communities is that of solid waste management, garbage disposal, landfill sites. I have tasked the ministries with a stakeholder to immediately come up with an action plan. As you know, we have 14 landfill sites across the country. They have all outgrown their capacity. They have all outgrown their capacity. Therefore, we need the development of new sites, the identification of land, getting the environmental permits and clearance, and then building out these sites in a modern way. Looking at value creation, that is how we can create value out of waste. We have a number of proposals that the team will be examining. Looking at new facilities, where these new facilities are needed, with emphasis, of course, on Region 2, 3, 7, 10, and 4, 6 also. And within the next 3 to 4 weeks, we'll have a comprehensive report and a strategy on how we tackle this issue of sanitation, garbage disposal. Important to this also, and specific emphasis must be on public education, looking at public spaces, markets, and building a communication strategy that will change mindset, that will change behavior, and would allow us to act with responsibility when it comes to protecting our environment. All of this is key as we build out a world-class tourism sector. This brings me to the issue of the digital identity card. As you know, we will have a citizen card and a resident card, so that everyone who is in Guyana has to have one of these electronic ID card that is key for security management, management of work permits, management of service delivery, financial tracking, and for security purposes also. This card will also be interlinked with our healthcare system so that basic health records can be easily accessible. The program will complete the following objectives: provide every citizen with a secure, tamper-proof digital identity card, enable trusted digital verification for government and private sector services, replace paper-based identity process with digital solution, Guyana unique identification number, a single lifelong identity number for every citizen, EID card, smart card with biometric, and PKI-enabled security features. That's a public key infrastructure, which is the PKI, ensures secure authentication and digital signatures. As you know, this is where the world is going. If we are to be competitive and if we are to be relevant, this is where we have to go. I'm very pleased to say that the process is ready to deliver these cards to citizens. For a matter of fact, the first card has been successfully delivered to the president. So we are now moving towards, in the next 2 weeks, to have all systems ready and to have a national scale implementation, the establishment of regional offices, so that we can accelerate the distribution of this card, which is a residency card, a citizen card. Of course, we must again emphasize the need of public awareness, public education in this initiative, because we want to ensure that the population is aware and there's a strategy where people would ensure that they get to these cards. Now, as you know, we have another exciting rice crop ahead of us, but the international market and international prices is not as exciting as the production itself. So I wanted to give some amount of information on what is happening in relation to the global market. Now, when you look at the rice production globally, is at an all-time high, with major producers, exporters such as India, Vietnam, and Brazil having record levels of production. Not only record levels of production, but record level of stockpile. So they have to get the stockpile onto the market. Causing a glut, this would have caused a glut in the world market. As a consequence of that, we have seen low prices. We have seen falling prices. A weighted average of global white rice export quotas ended the month of August at $415 per ton, and this is down $14 per ton from a month ago and $228 per ton from a year ago. So that is a global environment. Notwithstanding this, the government of Guyana, as you know, has supported the rice sector enormously. Recently, we had $2 billion of price support to farmers, which ensured farmers receive a price of $4,000 per bag. We provided farmers with $3.6 billion in fertilizer, flood relief, and seed paddy assistance. We launched the crop insurance program. We removed VAT and duties on machinery and equipment, agrochemicals, fertilizers, and pesticide. We negotiated a settlement of the Panama payment of $1.5 billion. And importantly, we, in 2025, removed the GRDB commission to zero rated sales commission with effect from March 4th. Now, that tells you that when you look at it, we have, whilst we are looking at ways in which we'll confront this challenge, we have exhausted many of the tools available to assist farmers and millers. Nonetheless, today, the Minister of Finance and Agriculture had a meeting with millers. They're expected to meet again later this week, and then to have meeting with farmers across the different regions for us to come up together with ideas to ease the impact and the burden of this, of the falling global prices, the glut on the market, and the record level of stockpile, so that our farmers, the burden can be minimized on our farmers. To add to this, of course, the good news, if you want to put it that way, is that the second crop is projected at, we've cultivated 209,000 plus acres with an average yield of 40 bags per acre, and the estimated rice production is in excess of 8.3 million bags. As I said to you, these record production level also brings the challenge of having not only markets, but decent markets for our farmers, both in the EU, Latin America, and CARICOM region. So during the course of this week, we'll continue the engagement with millers and rice farmers as we try to find additional measures through which we can support our farmers. You'll recall also that we were able to successfully negotiate crop insurance for our rice farmers. Today, 69.4% of our farmers are successfully registered. In addition to that, 10 weather stations are expected to arrive in Guyana by mid-October This would help our farmers to better predict weather patterns and to have data and information that will help them in terms of their crop production. So this is a development that we are tracking. We know that our farmers are anxious, but I want to assure them that the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Finance, and the Minister of Public Service, Government Efficiency and Implementation will be coordinating meetings as we work together to find solutions on these matters that in which we are affected by externalities. But that is the world we live in, and those are some of the challenges that we have to overcome as countries. So I just wanted to take this time this afternoon to update you on these initiatives. Of course, when I leave you, we continue to work on other initiatives, but I wanted to update you on these initiatives as we accelerate our work on transforming our country and building a service-oriented system for every Guyanese. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. What the President has done is he's outlined an extensive action agenda with maximum citizen involvement, public education and awareness. And he has set out the global challenges the country faces. So I hope that you will direct your questions to that agenda as much as possible. We will take between 6, at most 7 questions, and we will begin with Kurt Campbell of Newsroom. Kurt.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, I want to take you back to the first topic you addressed, the rescue of Georgetown. You spoke about the city revival plan. Just to ask if there is a overall cost for that endeavor. What is the timeline or phases of implementation? I know you spoke about the LCDS and how it underpins that plan, but also if you could also give some clarity on the King's Foundation exact role in all of this. And you spoke about future leadership, but also how do you work with the current leadership as you implement this plan?
Listen, we have to work with every Guyanese, as inefficient as they are, because our focus is not on individuals. Our focus is on the people. And the people of Georgetown are important to us. The users of the city is important for us, and the image of our capital city is important for us. That is why over the last 5 years, we've invested heavily on the infrastructure. You know this. We have spent billions of dollars on keeping the city clean, investing in roads, investing in drainage, putting in those pumping stations to ensure that as far as possible, we keep our city dry during heavy rainfall. We have seen the success of this program, our drainage program, in the last series of heavy rainfall. So it's not new. This is a continuation of investment. You've seen us building new highways to ease the traffic congestion, putting in roundabouts, enhancing the look of our city. We have launched the program to rehabilitate the botanical gardens and to upgrade our zoo. We have seen work on a re-engineering of the street walks and sidewalks. And all of this is important also in boosting and supporting private sector investment because of, the private sector is investing heavily in the city also, new hotels, restaurants, new buildings, office complex. And then you have the natural expansion of the city. You see what is going on at Ogle. We have new hotels coming there, the interconnectivity of the highway, the Aubrey Barker Road going now and connecting to the new highways. So we have been spending massively all the time in this transformation. But it's now going to that next phase of enhancement, beautification, structural improvement, heritage, culture. And the King's Foundation is helping us in an advisory role. They have done this. They have built their estate of harmony. and we are having tremendous support from them, which we are very grateful for. This is their forte. They have great experience in this. Uh, so we have opened up ourselves for advice and to accelerate this program of development. So that is important for us. The budget is an ongoing process. You know, it comes from the national budget. So at budget time, you will see what we're investing in the city. It will be budgeted for and part of the investment program, but it's going to cost a lot of money. We also want to see how we can maximize private sector participation. So for example, we have just had a meeting in which we said we'll go out for a public expression of interest in relation to the waterfront development in Stabroek and in Freedom Hoop to see how what private sector appetite is there and what is it for in the redevelopment of these key areas. Thank you.
Ignite News, I think, Utama Bell.
Yes. Was already extensively answered by Mr. President. It was what are some of the major immediate developmental plans that government is presently seeking to undertake. So I'll pass the mic on to anyone else who wishes
Where
to
though,
ask.
in the city?
The
Or
entire,
nationally?
nationally.
Oh, we'll take all day. I'll address, I promise you we'll have a specific session dealing with the infrastructure transformation, because I have to tell you about the Barbies River Bridge, the Kurpukari Bridge, where we are moving the new Demra River Bridge to, the tens of thousands of acres of new lands that we have to open up for housing, the road connectivity, connecting all of the new regions, going to Purika, the Goshen Road, looking at this Sand Hills Road, the opening up of new housing areas on the highway, Sitka City, going to the Deepwater Port in Barbies, the Quarantine River Bridge, the integration of the ferry service to enhance travelers' experience efficiency. So it's a massive transport integration plan that we will have a specific session on.
Guyana Chronicle, Navinda.
Yes, Mr. President, on the first topic, in pursuing the transformation of the city, aside from public education, would we see stricter penalties in place to hold persons accountable for the destruction of property and even, I would say, not minor, but littering and so on, those
so
types of delinquents?
Enforcement will be a critical part of the strategy, but we have to first build the infrastructure whilst you do some amount of enforcement. But we have to have a phased approach, the soft, medium, hard, and then the hard approach. So it's a phased approach with a lot of enforcement up front also, but public education at this phase. I think a lot of public education, a clear communication strategy is critical in this, at this stage.
The Guyana Standard, Kiana Milberg.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. In your opening remarks, you spoke about the plans ahead to implement a very ambitious infrastructure program. But can you say what role the new Minister of Public Service, but also Implementation and Efficiency, will play in ensuring that the building out or rolling out of this entire plan is not going to have any lapses? And can you also at the same time say what powers the minister is going to have to address any shortcomings in rolling out the plan that you have outlined?
Well, as you know, Minister Zulfi Ali comes with tremendous experience from a project management background, a diplomatic background, and he's highly efficient in every phase of service that he has offered to government. He's not only in charge of public service, but as you rightfully said, government efficiency and implementation. And you know the speed of the agenda that we're pursuing, and the fact that we want government to be service-oriented and create a service platform in delivering that efficient, reliable, customer-friendly service, whilst at the same time advancing the rapid transformation. That is why he's the Minister of Government Efficiency and Implementation also, and he'll be taking directive from the president. So he'll be following through on a lot of what the plans are. You know, we have some very ambitious plans, so he'll be following through to ensure that timelines are kept and that we are not missing timelines and the plans and programs are realized.
On the issue of agriculture, just for clarity's sake.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you. You spoke about the challenges on the global market where the rice industry
Yes.
is concerned. And I'm curious for my own understanding and that of the public as well, what challenges this would present for our farmers who are expecting to break another record for production? Do you foresee challenges in stockpiling? And do you foresee, in order to contain the situation at home, for us to perhaps scale back a bit on our own production?
I don't think we can scale back. I believe that we have to add value, and that is why we have to build out an agro ecosystem, a business system. We have to find ways in which we create higher value for our rice. We have to invest in storage, because when you want to play in a big game and have increased production, you have to have storage capacity, and also market forces are there. If you have a shortfall or oversupply, market forces will play every day. That's a fact of life. Now, how we manage our production system and the type of investment we make, so that we have to have some amount of stockpiling capacity and capability to do, and we're building that out in every single region. That is part of our plan. We have to add value, create greater local use of the rice here also, in a way that it adds value to other products, and we are working on a strategy surrounding that. We have to look at our trade agreements and to maximize the markets that we can have the best price in, and to look at how we can expand those trade agreements. That is why trade arrangements are important, and to see how we can maximize that. So those are important things also in the equation of rice. And we also have other commodities. You know, agriculture all over the world requires a lot of government investment, government support, government infrastructure. Access to financing, credit facilities, these are all things that are linked to the survival of the industry, the millers and the farmers. And those are things that we have to address in a comprehensive way.
Tricelle Sobers, Guyana Times.
Afternoon. President Ali, specifically outside of the agenda for today's press conference, is Guyana concerned about the escalating situation between U.S. and Venezuela offshore and the recent threats from Venezuela's defense minister aimed directly at Guyana? And the comment I'm specifically referring to is him stating that if any attacks are made from our territory, we will receive a response and it will be legitimate defense.
Let me say, I have heard a lot of statements out of Venezuela, some directed to me and our country. But let me say very clearly that our sovereignty is our sovereignty. And what we do in relation to our sovereignty is our business. Having said that, I want to make it very clear that our priority as a government and as a people is to ensure this region remains a zone of peace, to ensure that our region remains a zone of peace. Whilst our priority is to ensure that this region remains a zone of peace, we are also conscious of the impact of transnational crime, drug trafficking, and other forms of illicit activities, and the impact it can have on our people, the region, and our economy here and the region. So we have made it very clear that together as a region, we said this before, we had a number of meetings in CARICOM. We had meetings with the US in which we emphasized the importance of fighting transnational crime and forming a coalition to target transnational crime. So those are the comments I would like to make.
Newsroom, Gordon Mosley.
News Source. news source, Gordon Mosley. Mr. President, good afternoon, sir. Following up on the question there from Guyana Times, just yesterday the U.S. President announced another strike on suspected drug traffickers in the region, and there is growing international concern about the legality of these strikes, killing the suspected traffickers as against arresting them. Is that a concern you have right now?
We are continuously concerned about criminals using international waters or countries' exclusive economic zone in destroying economies, destroying countries, destroying people. For a matter of fact, we have raised an alert about the overflights over Guyana of suspected narco traffickers and drug planes, and their overflight over Guyana. And we have been talking to our partners and to help support us in terms of our air surveillance and tracking system, because we don't want our territory to be used. We don't want our land or sea to be used by any criminal network. So that is of concern to me, and we have a duty and a responsibility to make the necessary investment to secure our borders, to secure our people, and to secure this region, and also to contribute to every effort that will see our region remain a zone of peace.
So you're supportive of the airstrikes? That's what I'm trying to ask.
I've said what I had to say on the matter.
Gordon, I think you've had your answer. Saskia Warren?
Good afternoon.
And this will be the last question. So make it a good one.
Just shifting back your attention to today's agenda, Mr. President, you spoke about creating mega farms and positioning Ghana as a regional food hub. What role will small and medium-scale farmers play, ensuring that they are not left behind in the drive for large-scale agribusinesses?
Well, SMEs have an important role to play in agro-processing. That is why we are now working with those who have the technology, the investment, to work in with a co-investment model with our local SMEs to ensure that we maximize the potential of our SMEs while giving them the fastest track in technology, in financing, in technical support to build their businesses and be part of this transformation. So we have to face the reality, the scale of what we want to achieve. We don't have the technology. We don't have I would say, the years of experience in advancing that at the pace at which we want to advance it. So we can either sit back and wait forever, or we can go and get those who have the technology, those who have done it successfully, to come on board with us together so that we reduce the lag time and advance the opportunity in a more rapid way. And I think that is the best approach, and that is why the private sector is involved in this. You heard me say, we'll have the private sector, the agricultural sector, the farmers, everybody involved in this. Together we'll be making this decision because we want this to work and work in the interest of Guyanese. So the opportunities must be for Guyanese, but we have to understand that we're in a global environment. There are those who have done this and done it successfully already, and we can really reduce the time that we can graduate there where they are by bringing them on board with us, and that is what we want to accomplish. Thank you.
Mr. President, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. Lord?
When we stand as one, mighty like Mount Jerima, for Guyana, for Guyana, our life would be beautiful.
I will faithfully execute the office of President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
That I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
without fear or favor,
without fear or favor,
His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has assumed his second term of office as the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and the work has already begun. My name is Shania Prasad, and welcome to the President's Diary, where we take you through all of the developments happening in Guyana every single week. Now, let's take a look.
to all our supporters, to all of Guyana, to all those who stood with us, stood by us, stood for us, to all those who spent hours defending our philosophy, our plans and programs, I salute you. Today is your day. Today is your victory, as it is all of Guyana victory.
Of many plans the President outlined, the establishment of Guyana's very first law school was the talk everywhere. Just like many parents across Guyana, President Ali was up bright and early on Monday morning to take his sons to school. The defense of Guyana remains paramount for President Ali. He met with United States Deputy Assistant Secretary of War, Joseph Humire. Discussions focused on strengthening and expanding Guyana's strategic partnership with the United States, with a shared commitment to peace and security across the region. The President also met with Suriname's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Melvin Bouva, where discussions centered on Guyana's commitment to the Quarantine River Bridge project. They also discussed the issues affecting fisherfolk, improving the efficiency of the Guyana-Suriname ferry system, and exploring joint investment opportunities. On Monday, the President administered the oath of office to the Prime Minister, Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, and the Vice President, Dr. Bharat Jagdeo.
I, Bharat Jagdeo, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana.
I, Mark Anthony Phillips, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana.
These appointments represent the first of many appointments to be made to my cabinet and to public service. These appointments are evidence of placing the reins of our nation's development in the most capable hands, hands that have been tried, tested, and proven in the annals of public service.
President Irfan Ali met with the head of the Gas to Energy Task Force, Winston Brassington, and received comprehensive updates on several components of the project. Within the next 30 days, 400 persons will be employed to advance its construction. The head of state met with information technology systems heads from across all government agencies at the Office of the President. There, he outlined his administration's commitment to digitization, artificial intelligence, and the integration of technology across public sector operations. Discussions have already begun to create Guyana's digital economy. The President met with representatives from the financial sector on modernizing the banking sector to address ongoing concerns faced by citizens and on plans to ensure commercial banks keep pace with the government in implementing digital transformation. President Ali also met with the team from Northwell Health to discuss the implementation of the National Emergency Medicine Authority and to establish a Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Center in Guyana. Several members of the Joint Services were honored with the Joint Services Medal by Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali. In his address, President Ali said the medals represented the gratitude of the nation for the role they played in upholding democracy during the recent elections.
The peaceful and orderly conduct of our most recent elections was not an accident or circumstance. It was a direct result of planning, vigilance, discipline, and the efforts of the joint services, and we cannot forget the Guyana Elections Commission.
The president inspected works along Heroes Highway, which will be the exit for traffic coming off of the new Demerara River crossing.
The load testing on the bridge is ongoing also. The full load testing will be completed on the bridge so that we will have this project ready for use long before the end of this month. So I'm pleased to see the final phase of the approach road work and the roundabout. From what I've seen, that would also be completed in the course of another three days maximum.
The Heroes Highway will be expanded to include 2 collector lanes aimed at easing traffic congestion. Additionally, a collector lane will be constructed on the west bank, while plans are also in place for a flyover roadway to be introduced at a later stage. The head of state met with President Jennifer Geerling Simons of Suriname in New Naikiri to advance economic partnerships. Discussions covered the construction of the Quarantine River Bridge, the establishment of a joint fisheries commission, and a Suriname-Guyana border meeting scheduled before the end of the year.
We in Guyana, we are very pleased to reaffirm our strong commitment to this bilateral relationship, to reaffirm our commitment to the expanding of this relationship, our bonds of friendship that exists between our 2 countries and our people, and importantly, a friendship and neighborly relationship that is based on shared values, aspirations, our geographic proximity, our cultural ties, and more importantly, our commitment to peace, security, and prosperity for our countries and our people.
To implement his government's agenda, President Ali on Saturday swore in members of his cabinet to serve the people of Guyana.
These candidates will form the backbone of this government. Their services, their technical expertise will be part of the driving force. It will be part of the human capital and human asset that will drive the transformation, the effectiveness, the efficiency of this government.
In just 1 week of assuming office, President Ali is already making strides in technology, security, defense, and infrastructure. Join us again next time on the President's Diary as we continue to document Guyana's transformative journey under the leadership of President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali.
right, we are on. Today is a special day, man. I got Teddy J and Chef Lennox here that we're going to be doing a market tour with. Also Jason, right? So you know Chef Lennox from Scotty Smokehouse, and Teddy J is hotting up the place now with his hit song. It is Heritage Month in September now, so make sure you check out Teddy J and go. You performing tonight there?
Already performed last night and the night before.
Oh, okay, good. But we are doing a market tour and we're at the Guyana shop, Chef Lennox. We're going to show him some stuff in the Guyana shop where he can add some of these things here in the restaurant also, right? Come with me, let's go. Chef Lennox, one of the goodies, one of the things that I do, I take some of the foods, like the chicken foot. For me, this is not just chicken foot, right, Chef?
Yes.
This is croutons also.
That's true, yes.
Break it up and I put it on top of the salad. And this is the biggest hit. So now everybody is coming now. Hey, can I get that salad with the chicken foot in it?
Crouton, yeah.
So it's the croutons, chicken foot, and guys, chicken foot for us, this is it. It's a flour base, well seasoned with turmeric and all that, nice pepper and everything, and we eat it with the mango chutney or the mango sour, And this is what we call chicken foot, because when you fry that dough in the hot oil, it curls up like a chicken feet, right? And that's why we call it chicken foot. So it's not literally chicken foot, but it's a really, really good product, and this is one of them. Also, the coconut biscuit, right?
Yes.
What I do, it's already coconut biscuit already. We're gonna see it there. Shonda Yards is doing the Golden Crunch coconut biscuit.
Yeah, we do a lot of.
I like that, but
Yeah.
here what is do now? Dip it in the chocolate, and the kids are going crazy for
Ah,
that. So you
so
dip it in
chocolate-coated,
the
yeah.
chocolate fondue,
Yeah.
and let it
I
sit,
like that.
say it hard up, and they're eating chocolate coconut biscuit. Stuff exactly what I was telling you there, Jason. It's like you take the things that you grew up with, and look, show them your swank there, Jason. This is swank. Can you
Swank in a
believe
bottle.
that you can actually buy swank in a bottle like how you're doing in the Coca-Cola? Now,
Anything.
all of these stuff, you can get it right here at the Guyana shop. So what is the Guyana shop really? Is the small local farmers and the processors, food processors. Remember, we would bottle these things, put it in a recycled bottle, a Coca-Cola bottle, and then wait for someone to come from the US, and then we go get the sale. Now, you don't have to do that anymore like that. What you do is you come to the Guyana shop, and you have it labeled, packaged, and ready for you. You see? So instead of going through the whole long rope, right here, and that's what it is. And it's such a business here in Guyana. It started with women, the local women in these rural areas, far away from Georgetown, and small NGOs, and the government also stepped in and said, hey, you know what? Let us help you, teach you how to package, teach you the labeling and everything like that, and we're gonna create a place, a space for you, put it on the shelf, and then you get the seal. You see?
nice, yeah.
So it's a win-win situation, and that's what it is. Mostly women doing this stuff here. We even have a blind guy, Broth. He's doing tamarind ball. He's doing porridge mix, planting flour to do your frying and everything. Yeah, man. A blind guy.
Wow, that's
right
amazing.
here.
You know, something when you get your tea bag and take home, you're looking for a jar to put it in. So you already have a jar already, you know, and it's local.
And it's local.
And it's local.
Can you
Like,
believe
it's nice.
lemongrass, or we call it fever grass, is in a tea bag?
now. Delvin, and even to the peanut butter, you don't have to get your family to send the peanut butter in the barrel for you. It's right here.
No, we're
locally
making our
made.
peanut butter.
You know,
and
it's
this
right
is
here.
fantastic. Just look at the packaging.
You know, it's right here.
Back in the days, again, it was in a big bucket behind the counter. You run to the shop, and then the guy put it in a brown paper bag like this, right?
Yes.
Scoop, and you know, he sell you $100 or whatever peanut butter now.
Peanut butter?
Yeah, buddy. Used to be less.
Yeah, a spoon used to go and buy a spoon of peanut butter.
Go and buy a spoon of peanut butter.
You know, an ounce of peanut butter. Yeah.
Yeah, like
You guys
all of
don't
these
know
things
that?
that you see in here, the channel was never here. They had it in a jar, a big jar, and you would stop at a local sweetie shop stand and, hey, let me get some channel, $100 channel, and then they put it in a bag.
Yeah, well, I understand the nut butter.
Yeah,
nut butter.
And cheese, you know, as well. So
An ounce of cheese, an ounce
You
of
could,
butter.
you could like buy a single tennis show with it too.
You buy a
yeah,
tennis
you
roll,
buy a tennis roll.
Yeah.
and
You
sometimes
buy
you don't get
tennis roll.
cheese because you don't got the money for the cheese. Hey, just
Yeah.
give me a tennis roll, and then you save up to buy a Coke.
Yep.
That's how it is, man. So let me show you some of the packaging. Look at the packaging here. You can see this on Trader Joe's,
Yes, sir. Yes.
right?
Yes. This is packaged to the standard where it could hit the global market.
And
Yes.
I applaud them for doing this.
Yes.
I think some of these are on Amazon.
Yes, this is on Amazon.
Need this for the table.
All the pepper sauce. You remember it was the auntie making the pepper sauce, put it out on the thing there to dry, and now look, it's in the proper jar, either glass or plastic. Whichever one you desire, you take it. And it's telling you what's inside to our green season. This is a big thing for everyone else across the board, the green season. Now look how we got it packaged nice, labeled, everything.
I think this one is a plus because a lot of people is asking for Mary Pepper to care back. So you having it like this, you know, you don't have to worry about anything.
You get your
Because you can
pickle
pass
with
your
pepper,
custom, you can
and
pass
you
your custom with this.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna definitely get
Yeah.
that
See that?
for my pepper pot because I still make my pepper pot every year.
And you making your pepper pot with the wee wee pepper, man.
That's
Thumbs
it.
up right there,
That's
man.
it.
Yeah, yeah. This is the coconut biscuit that I was telling you about. You remember you would run to the old lady in the back of her house,
Goodness.
and you get 2 coconut biscuits for 25 cents.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we had we usually just have this at the restaurant selling, but then the staff buy it out more than anybody else.
Really?
Yeah.
You see? Local. And I met this young lady when she first got started. Now she has a company, bro. Like,
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
You go in all the Massy, everywhere you go, you can find that.
Yeah.
Everywhere you can go, you can find
Shonda
that.
Yards, big up to Shonda Yards coconut biscuit. Cheese roll, you remember cheese straw.
straw.
You had to get somebody who knows how to do it.
Yes.
Now it's packaged. Look at the packaging.
Wow.
Amazing.
Hey, Trader Joe's, Walmart, and all the other major corporations in the United States and even in Europe and in some parts of Africa.
See that?
You know, because I was in Kenya and Ghana and somewhere I saw patties from Jamaica all the way there on the shelves.
What?
So I'm like, we could do it. This is like treat. I never knew that this store was here. I mean, you know, from the time I've been coming back. So in my head, I'm like a kid in a candy store right now.
Nice. I'm happy about that. And also, just know that they're online too.
Oh, they're online.
So all the questions that you have, please ask them. This is a young lady, and she has a lot of different types of dip she used making fruits. Yeah. This here is going to blow your mind. You remember the school biscuit?
The school biscuit, yeah.
Never used to sell it. Now it's in the stores, and it's selling at the Guyana shop. School biscuit, guys. Don't talk about it. Don't take photos. It's selling in the Guyana shop. Come down and pick up your coconut biscuit, your fudge. If you see broth, tamarind ball, fudge, this is the blind guy, right? That's the name of his company. You remember we used to be making our soap. Now it was making and packaging. It's not just blue soap you can get. You can get the soap with the coffee, the colds, the crab oil soap. And crab oil, guys, just giving you a heads up, crab oil is not made from crabs. It's made from the seed from the anaeroba tree or the crab wood tree, all right? It's not made from literal crabs. And this is your crab oil, what it looks like.
Yeah, well. Any days you used to get 9 down on your crab oil?
Yeah. And these are some of the things that it helped to heal and fix. Back in the days, we had a serious issue with rice flour, which is the wrong thing to do. And I say this a lot, right? When you introducing something to Guyanese, the first thing we do is laugh. Instead of laughing, and this is a serious point, instead of laughing about it, guys, do the research. Understand what these things are about. When rice flour was introduced to Guyana, Guyana wasn't the first one to say, hey, let's start the initiative and start making rice flour. This was done in India, in Africa, years ago. Many, many years ago. Thousands of years ago. The most expensive flour on the planet is rice flour. You want that crispy crunch on your fried chicken, on the fried fish, use rice flour. And you tell me the difference. You even have rice flour on the shelf. Look at the packaging.
You know, you're talking about rice flour and stuff, right? I would like to come in the store one day and we get Cerex.
We have something here that's similar to the Cerex. One of these porridge. Let's get my guy. Where's my guy? At the Guyana shop. One of these here is similar to the Cerex.
Remember Cerex?
Oh, yeah, Cerex with the milk.
Yeah. All you do is add the hot water.
Add the hot water.
Yeah, and you're good to go. But here, Ronald, you got all the cassava flour, the breadfruit flour, plantain flour, Edo flour, sweet potato flour. Now I see they got in the beets, the banana, pineapple. Correct.
And this is from Guyana.
Yeah. So you get it, and we do it. We've been doing this. So the world took off with all the laughter. The world took off, and they're set while we were still. Here is the tea that you can get to lose weight, and read the ingredients and it can tell you what it is. We've been using it from centipede to corilla leaf, everything now in a tea bag. So please tap yourself on the shoulder and know that we are going to someplace different. Look at these packaging. Look at that. Amazing.
Because this is very impressive because especially like for these, you don't have the onion powder, the masala, and just plastic bag with just a name on it. You know, this is not even local. Like if somebody sees this, they won't believe this is local. You know, you think this is like from somewhere else. Yeah. You know, this is amazing.
Remember, because we had a little shop, how we used to do the aji and the black pepper?
Yeah.
In a little bag.
In a little bag.
And we got the candle.
Your thing and you know.
Mosquito coil.
Yeah, the mosquito coil.
Sealing.
And we sealing. Okay, look at the packaging with cassava chips, bro. Remember how we used to make wine? They call it the Dutch bottles. It's not Dutch bottle. Those bottles are not Dutch bottles. The Dutch bottles are color bottle, glass bottles that was blown.
So the one that is called Dutch bottle.
That is no, that's not Dutch bottle. Those were two brothers used to send beer in those jugs or in the bottles from Scotland. And they have the tag on the bottles. You got to look there. Anyway, long story.
Yeah.
Now we have our local wine making with local fruits.
Wow.
Packaging and look at the bottles with the wine, bro.
And again, the packaging is You know, it's really nice.
Yeah.
What started in the duty-free area?
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah.
So do they have these products, to your point, at the duty-free to Maria's? Yes.
Some of them, some of it,
they,
yeah.
They have, well, the Guyana shop has a little booth there, and we're actually not protesting, but we're rallying to get a store there.
Yeah, that should
at
be
the
a
airport.
Yeah, that should be a foregone conclusion. That's very strategic for marketing.
Yeah.
And then it showcases, you know what I mean? You have all of the traffic coming from the Caribbean, people from the US, Europe, Africa, wherever coming through Guyana. There should be a mini version of this shop at the airport.
GMC, you heard that? Jason is well traveled. Some of the countries that he's been to, from Africa, from Europe.
Every continent except Antarctica.
He's well traveled. So he's telling you something. He's giving you an experience. He's giving you his experience on traveling.
And it's strategic for marketing as well, because you don't know what type of investor is going to come through there and want to like help the distribute.
And they can't come to the city.
Exactly. You know.
They're on the layer of, hey, this looks good. Let me.
Exactly. You know. So you have to really.
Even leaving and you going as a foreigner, you're leaving it. Try this now. You reach back home, you like it, but yeah, you make a phone call.
Yeah.
How could I get like a container of this? You know, it's happened.
You're talking about that. I'm rallying to get Richard Branson here just to see this.
Wow.
Just to see it, right? I've been working on it for almost 2 years now, and you know,
don't give up.
I'm not giving up. I'm just waiting. Now your sorrel, you gotta wait until Christmas time to get it. They made it and they have it in a concentrate. Yeah. Diluted, you can either use it for cake, you can everything. You want to get a flavored sorrel cake?
Yeah, and we don't have a shop like this at the airport. Come on, people. Forward thinkers. All of
That's
you
it
that
right
are,
there.
You know, you need visionary leadership for this. I'm telling you, you need to put this at the airport. And I'm telling you, that is going to be your number one.
I almost says Febreze.
Oh yeah, exactly. I thought it was Febreze.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, what says Febreze?
Made locally right here in Guyana that a lot of folks doesn't know about. The ladies I have to send to the US for my wife.
Oh really?
She loved this soap out of here.
Okay, I'll try. I'll take a couple of back and try. Yeah. I'll take a couple of packets back and try.
All right, you see, Jason, come, he's shopping out the Guyana shop. Hey, while we at it, thing there, right? So this is it for the market tour here at the Guyana shop. Introduce yourself.
Hi, yes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Damien Daniels. Nice to meet you all.
Tell us about the Guyana shop. I'm selling this thing, but I want the Guyana shop to sell the Guyana shop.
So the Guyana shop is basically a local store where you could find everything packaged and labeled right here in this. It's consistent of like instead of buying the processed foods that go through a lot of processing, it's more local. It's everything you could find right here in Guyana. So that's the best. That's the niceness about it.
You just give us something that's very important. Everyone's taste buds is different.
Right. So it depends on everyone's taste. You're gonna find Guyana is a multicultural country. So we have the different cultures, and each culture is basically when you mix them together and you collect from different areas, you're gonna find a whole different variety of flavors. Yeah, we got the East Indians, they're gonna do the curry, we got the cook up, we got the all different type of races. We're gonna find the different stuff, you know?
Yeah. So when you come and you sample one of these products, it may not be the same of what you used to. That's why we're different, right? And pick up the one you like. Don't just dog the whole store because you didn't like one product. You didn't like it because it wasn't good for your taste bud. Go to the next shelf and pick out the one that you see fit that you're gonna get. This for everybody. Don't stop it right there, Ronald. I have to open my phone and we start in this segment here where we're showing, you know, we got to say hi to the folks too. We got the YouTube channel going on Facebook and Instagram. Let me go open up this thing here, man. I got a list of people that I got to say hi to from New Jersey. Call out them name there, by.
Brittany, Alicia, Hayden.
Yes. Right.
Say hi to you guys.
Want to say hi to you guys. Indira Altia Monique, that is my sister, and these are her co-workers.
The names are Chauncey,
Brittany,
Hilda, Ashley, and the rest of the gang.
Ashley and the rest of the gang. That is my sister. The reason why I do that, right? They've been supporting me, Chef, just like how you do your thing.
Yeah.
Mental support, physically, when it comes to money, helping build a business and everything like that, you know? And she's in the office and folks are looking and saying, hey, you know,
that's my brother.
You're Guyanese and I like this guy. And then they're saying, she's like, what are you talking about? That's my brother, you know? So I just wanted to give those ladies a shout out there. And my sister, Indira, I love you so much. Thank you for supporting me. Really appreciate it, all right? How was the Guyana shop, Chef?
It was good, you know. It's always nice to see local local product. I was impressed to see the packaging especially, because if you see some of these things in the supermarket, you won't even know that this is local, you know, until you go check the mail of it, you know. So it's just really nice to see the packaging is very, yes, because remember, even as a chef, the presentation is important, you know. So when you can see the presentation, like, you know, the packaging, you're impressed, you know. So, and you have everything that you think about Guyanese here, so yeah.
That's it,
Nice,
right
man.
Jason, or Chef Jason.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I was pleasantly surprised, and you know what I will say in a nutshell. Everything was packaged with such high levels of professionalism, and literally everything in that shop is ready to be exported within the global village. So I am really impressed.
All right, thank you for that. Teddy J in the house, right? Make sure you subscribe to Teddy J official on YouTube. Right, Teddy J, what do you think about the Guyana shop?
Well, I'm really impressed because, like, I know a lot of the products from when I was younger, right? But I never knew that it was made in Guyana. To see them on the shelves, like, what? This making Guyana? I know this, yes, I didn't know it was in Guyana. So I think the store needs a lot more exposure because I support local and this needs to be international.
I'm Paiwari boss. So if you were there in September and you know what's Paiwari, better learn now. We ain't telling you, right? We're going to the market tour. We're going to do a market tour with these guys now.
You know, before you go, I remember, 5 years ago in Trinidad, and I was in Trinidad. Yes. Myself and some other friends, we come up with this idea. We're going to do a Guyana shop in Trinidad where you can come and get everything Guyanese there. But the pandemic and everything, we never really get about it. But yeah, because when you go to other countries, you find this stuff, but this in Trinidad, you don't have a Guyana shop.
And what he's saying, basically, because we get to travel the Caribbean and thing, Guyanese people miss home and they just want a piece of that.
And you always have to ask somebody to bring this and bring this and bring this, you know, when you can find it right there.
But we have this Guyana shop in Barbados.
No, yes.
And we get to highlight that?
Yeah, you have it in the BVIs, you have it in Antigua, you have a lot of St. Kitts and Nevis, but there's none in Trinidad. But something I never know.
We can extend it, guys. And actually, we can actually help you. We love traveling and we can talk about it. Help us to help you, right? Give us a kickback and we do the thing and push it out here. Right? Everybody win. One hand can't clap in church at all. Right, Jason?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We know that they gon' have good food. Wanna see it all? Just go on to YouTube. They got a YouTube? Yeah, I'm not kidding, man. They even got vids around the Caribbean. If TikTok or Facebook or Insta you'll play, just pick up your phone, type in Backyard Cafe. You know they #1, yeah, they're here to stay. So come to the back, yeah, come knock a tea.
I, Mohammed Irfan Ali,
I, Mohammed Irfan Ali,
do solemnly
declare
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana,
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana,
that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana,
without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Ready to serve Guyanese for his second term, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali was sworn in on Sunday as the 9th Executive President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. He was presented with a traditional indigenous headdress by Amerindian youths as a symbol of leadership. In his inaugural remarks, President Ali thanked every Guyanese who cast their vote in the general elections on September 1 and pledged that the journey towards prosperity would accelerate.
Leadership is not a pursuit of self, but a covenant of service. It is not the benefit for a few, but for the upliftment of all. It is in that spirit that I have taken the oath of office.
President Ali's staunch leadership and execution of strategic people-centered policies hallmarked his presidency and ensured his re-election for the next 5 years.
The future that we are projecting does not rest on a cabinet or the members of parliament or the parliamentary secretaries or the advisors very, very competent advisors and technical people will be installed in the coming weeks. High-level personnel, world-class quality. But the future does not reside only on this cabinet, the parliament, the members of parliament, and the advisors. The future is about all the stakeholders at every level of government that must be involved and be part of this process of transformation. Our international representation, our international positioning, our security aspiration, all of these things form critical pillars of the journey ahead of us. It is our alignment with our goals, our alignment with our partners, our alignment with the international system that will determine the speed of our success, the agility of our country, and the ability of this country to be competitive and to win in every aspect of national life. That is what we are building. A country that is strong, agile, a country in which our human capital will be driven by knowledge, science, innovation, technology, and in which the service delivery and service orientation of the government is the center of the work we do.
The government has taken an aggressive approach to address the solid waste management of the Higgs-Bosch landfill site on the east bank of Demerara. On Monday, the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Priya Manikchan, visited the Higgs-Bosch landfill site to address the concerns of smoke emission and a pungent stench affecting residents of neighboring communities.
I've had a meeting with the engineers and the management of this landfill site. Some of the issues are with the development that's happening in Guyana, we've moved from 400 tons per day to 1,200 tons per day. We've moved from about 100 trucks dumping here to 300 to 400 trucks dumping here. So we have to now increase our capacity of management.
The minister noted that children in every community must be able to live and play in an area that is sanitary and smells fresh.
This is Tashin Panza 2025, part of Amerindian Heritage Month, where food, culture, and fashion meet in the heart of Georgetown. Beginning today on Main Street with the cultural marketplace, Tashin Panza has many things to offer, from hand-woven baskets and jewelry to cassava bread and pepper pot. Let us hear directly from some of the vendors.
My name is Cherise Thomas. I am from Region 2, Wakapo, but I live over the west side, right? Well, today I will be having Paiwari fly. We have the tuma. I'm going to get also laba, deer, wild hog, bush cow, and like beef, chicken, calabrese, pork.
My name is Pamela English, formerly Solomon, from a place called Hotororo in Region 1. I am originally in Georgetown, but I've made some drinks for this heritage called the potato wine, everyone knows as fly wine. But this drink is made from a potato called black potato, only to make the wine, not in any food or so. You can drink it as soon as you make it. You can drink it fresh, like a Kool-Aid, and then leave it to ferment. The mayo usually be 6 weeks to get it strong with sugar, and this is how it becomes. This is the color. After it starts fermenting, so that's it so far. It's a lovely drink. This is also good for diabetes. You can drink this for diabetes.
Tomorrow, September 17, Main Street will again come alive with the Indigenous Fashion Show, followed by a unique concert on Thursday. Ensure you come out and let's celebrate Amerindian Heritage Month under the theme Ignite Unity, Celebrating Progress, Advancing Our Culture.
The Ministry of Education has kicked off Education Month 2025 with a fun and flavorful start, a baking competition at the Better for Acting Practical Instructional Center. The event, called What's in the Oven, is the first of its kind, organized by the ministry's Edu-FM department. Minister of Education Sonia Parag officially opened the competition today. She reminded students that while academics are important, technical skills like baking and other vocational training are vital.
Academics is known. Academics is where you have people striving for all the time. But you're seeing a growing interest in technical skills. You're seeing a growing participation, and you're seeing a growing investment in technical training. And technical training for me is like a rubber band. It's like elastic. It gives you that leverage to make sure that you can not only learn one skill, but you can learn more skills. And it equips you as an all-rounder, even if you want to be an academic.
The competition features 3 Caribbean Secondary Examination Certificate Food, Nutrition and Health students from Queen's College and the Christenberg, Wismar and West Demerara secondary schools, respectively. It is the first of activities on the ministry's calendar in observance of Education Month 2025, themed Quality Education for National Development.
Welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Title, a program where we look at and take a deep dive into the ministers of government that will be serving from 2025, subsequent to President Ali's re-election. Joining me for this first episode is the new Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, the Honourable Keoma Griffith. Minister Griffith, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Hearing the Honourable Minister Griffith, Keoma Griffith, still has a buzz to it that I'm trying to process. So.
I could imagine. So, Minister, this is your first stint here in the national politics, I can say. And there may be many people who are still unfamiliar with who you are. Mm-hmm. So let's start the conversation right there. Who is Keoma Griffith?
I'm a son, I'm a servant. I lived 30 years of my life in Eastern Belt. I come from the Eastern Belt community, and I've always, in whatever I've done, I've always had some aspect of leadership in it. I've been heavily involved in my church in terms of youth development and youth empowerment. I've been an attorney at law for 9 years. I've practiced at all levels, including the Caribbean Court of Justice, where not to boast, we were successful. Court of Appeal, High Court, possibly all of the magistrates' courts in Guyana. Mm-hmm. So I'm just, I don't want to say I'm the average guy to water down my what I have to offer, but I'm a pretty, I guess, I'm a pretty quintessential basic person.
Yeah. But you've done some other things. I know that you've been on the Bar Association as well.
Correct. So I've been serving on I previously served in the Bar Association from 2018 up until this period when I got the appointment. I've served as the secretary of the Bar Association as well as the assistant secretary. The Bar Association does tremendous work. Essentially, especially in relation to a lot of the laws in this country, the Bar Association is one of the key stakeholders in terms of consultation for all of the pieces of legislation. So the Attorney General Chambers, the Bar Association shared a very good relationship with the Bar Association in terms of consulting with them on all the pieces that would be laid in Parliament. And of course, the Bar Association represented the interests of lawyers. Right. So even in that sphere, I was always, whether it was advocating for the interests of my colleagues, collaborating with the judiciary to improve the administration of justice, and all of these things. I had to interface with the government on some matters and so on. I sat on, as a representative, a nominee on the Juvenile Justice Committee as well. I was also integral in the development of a filing system in the magistrates court. That was a project that lasted for about 2.5 years, where I had to work closely with the Chief Justice, the Chancellor, and other persons within the legal profession to transform from manual filing into a digital system.
So very good stuff.
Those are some of the things I've had my hand involved in
over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But what is also interesting, and I have to ask you, you weren't on the list of candidates for the People's Progressive Party Civic. We didn't see you in a public way campaigning, but now you're Minister of Government. How did you get here?
How did I get here? I mean, I truly believe it was a divine appointment. I really believe God spoke to the president concerning me, and I really think that's how I got here. I don't think it's by chance. Things happened really, really quickly. I spoke with the president on Saturday, and at 5:15 on Saturday afternoon, he called me, and I got certain instructions, and then an hour later, I was in a suit, in a shirt and tie, and I was at State House. Still, I don't think a lot of people knew, apart from myself and His Excellency, and I think maybe the Vice President and the senior leadership. So yeah,
That's
here I
what
am now.
happened. It would be remiss of me to sit here and not ask you this too. You are a young person in national leadership at what we consider to be the highest level of national leadership. You were Christian,
yes,
in national leadership as well, and you've been handed this task, given this task. You've earned this responsibility. What do you think this says about President Ali and the confidence that he has always had in young people, and what do you think this says to other young people who may be looking at your story and just considering?
Well, the president and I are both men of faith. It's something that we relate on. I was one of President Ali's youth advisors in terms of being appointed on the Youth Advisory Council. President Ali brings a level of humility, and he's able to relate on all levels, including with young people. When he invited me to be on his Youth Advisory Council, he called personally. In fact, he called all 25 of us to ask us to serve on the Youth Council. So it really signals a commitment to young people in this country that this government, this president, is not only interested in having young people serve, but also the transition of leadership, the flow, handing down major responsibility from those who've been in public office for a very long time to somebody like me. I've never been a politician. I've never occupied any form of national leadership, but here now I have this tremendous responsibility which has been entrusted to me, not only by the president, but every person who has voted for this government. And it just really signifies confidence in young people. And I'm really, really grateful for His Excellency for not just utilizing me, but if you look at our cabinet, a lot of my colleagues are very, very young persons. In fact, I think President Ali maybe has, maybe the record of being one of our youngest ministers. But that has been the legacy of the People's Progressive Party. I believe it started with Ashton Chase, who was maybe 24, 25, who was the first Labour minister, interestingly, So it signals a commitment to young people to always put their interests first and to ensure that there is youthful and competent representation at a national level where young people can also be a part of decision making and policy making in this country.
Are you the youngest minister in the cabinet?
I may be the youngest. I may be the youngest.
You may be.
In this cabinet.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I was talking to my colleague Suzanne. I can't believe I could call them on a first name basis now.
Yeah.
They've all told me just first name. And Suzanne was saying, of course, Suzanne is the Honorable Minister of Tourism now. She was saying that she was the youngest in the last cabinet, and she was, I believe, 30. I can't give away her age.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get it. That's okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about labor. Major successes in labor over the last 5 years. Well, the scope of the ministry, the Board of Industrial Training, 13,000 people, historic collective bargaining agreements signed, a lot of work done in making sure that occupational hazards are removed from a lot of workplaces. How do you envision yourself continuing on this trajectory, but also improving on the foundation that has already been laid?
I think the point has to be made that this government has delivered in excess of 50,000 jobs, which was a campaign commitment. Now, the Ministry of Labor has played an essential role in that, just with the development and transformation that this country is seeing and will continue to see. The Ministry of Labor plays a vital role in preparing a workforce. There is an aspect of the ministry called manpower planning, which a lot of people will still learn about what we're doing in terms of manpower planning. But it's really to prepare a labor force and a workforce with all that Guyana is experiencing right now, the changes. So the Ministry of Labor has been critical in that aspect. There has been a lot of work done in the 5 years. Many persons, thousands, you said 13, it's actually 15,000, in excess of 15,000 persons have benefited from training in all the sectors. The Ministry of Labor drives every single sector in this country, right? So I'm going to have my hand in a lot of work, a lot of sectors going on, whether it's just training. In terms of manpower, there has been recruitment drives. People come to the ministry, and there is a bank where they submit their contact and their information, and we have recruiters in the ministry who go and try to place them, and a lot of those persons, thousands of persons today, have been beneficiaries and are now within jobs. Their families, their living situations, their standards have been improved, and it all comes back to the promise made 5 years ago to deliver on jobs. So a manifesto promise is one thing, but when you get in, you have to work it. So that's just some of a promise which has been delivered, which we are seeing now today. And I'm happy to be able, that I'm involved in this ministry. In terms of what I want to do, you will know I have a strong legal background. What I want to do is to ensure in this term, the Ministry of Labor has the requisite legal framework to balance and to manage all that is taking place. So we have to have a strong legal framework to protect the interests of employees, those who work in the labor force in this country. But we have to also ensure that it's also balanced to also manage the interests of employers and ensure that, where there is need for improvement on both sides, that we can ensure that. So those are some of the things that I'm happy to report on, and kind of a direction that I want to ensure I focus on during this time. So while I'll be out in the regions, working with all my departments as well, I intend to have a very close relationship with the Attorney General's chambers to ensure that we have a legislative framework that can manage and also help us in that transition as we continue to develop this country. we can't just develop the country and not develop the framework. So a lot of that is what I want to get done during this time.
Minister Griffith, let me ask you before we go.
Yes.
When you look at Guyana
Mm-hmm.
in 2025, and then you look at Guyana in 2030,
Mm-hmm.
what differences do you see?
Oh my gosh, I want.
Do
to
you
say,
expect to see, I should say? Yeah.
Well, what I can tell you, with the mandate we have been given, not just by the president but by the people, this is something that you will know that this government has indicated that we will make direct deposits into the lives of people in this next term. It's already begun, right? You will know that there have been scholarships, persons have been benefiting in many, many different ways. But I see a transformed working class, a transformed labor force. I see a happier people. I see a more united people in the next 5 years. I see a country where its citizens are happy and they're able to experience really the greatness that we are all, that everybody around the world is seeing and boasting about. We will see why Guyana is now the fastest growing economy in the world. And so I'm just happy to be whatever part I'm able to play in that. I'm extremely happy to be a part of it.
Minister Griffith, I want to thank you so much for spending the last few minutes with us
Thank
here
you very much.
in the studio. Any final comments before we wrap?
Just know that the Ministry of Labor, we're here to work as a service ministry. Please, I have an open door policy. Come into the ministry. There's a lot of information, a lot of opportunities. Come and find out. Look out on our social pages and get information. And I look forward to serving and meeting all of the people of Guyana.
Minister Griffith, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You've heard there from the Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, the Honourable Keoma Griffith. Stay with us here on the National Communications Network as we continue to bring you more updates just like this. My name is Shaquan Gill, and I'm saying goodbye for now.
President Elton Ali of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to deliver a statement.
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I want to take this opportunity to thank Her Excellency and the people of Suriname for their tremendous hospitality and welcoming us here. I want to thank the team on both sides, our Foreign Secretary and the Foreign Minister, for their extraordinary work in having what I would summarize as an efficient meeting. As we in Guyana, we are very pleased to reaffirm our strong commitment to this bilateral relationship, to reaffirm our commitment to the expanding of this relationship, our bonds of friendship that exists between our two countries and our people, and importantly, a friendship and neighborly relationship that is based on shared values, aspirations, our geographic proximity, our cultural ties, and more importantly, our commitment to peace, security, and prosperity for our countries and our people. Those are the foundational pillars on which our relationship is built and on which the strength of our relationship is pursued. Today we had the opportunity to examine various areas of our relationship and to recommit ourselves to accelerating the growth and development of our relationship and our aspirations. In economic cooperation, we agreed that there will be specific focus on expanding trade, investment, and importantly, a mechanism through which we will have improvement of the ease of doing business for the private sector of both countries. It is important for our private sector to find it not only easy but efficient, and to improve transparency in the way in which they do business and we conduct business. Both Madam President and I are committed to encouraging the private sector of Suriname and Guyana to maximize business investment opportunities on both sides, including the formation of joint ventures to look at joint possibilities in the business environment, in the merging of capital and integration, the greater integration of our economies and our private sector. Energy security is an important pillar on our growth and development for both countries, and we advance discussions as to how we can build this infrastructure, support each other, not only in terms of the energy security of Guyana and Suriname, but how we can play that wider role in terms of energy security and the possibilities around an energy economy for the rest of the region in CARICOM and, of course, further afield. Not only in oil, but the gas development, renewable energy, and the interconnection of our grid across the region. We committed to exploring joint ventures, knowledge sharing, exchanging knowledge and technology, and looking at investment opportunities in the energy ecosystem for both our countries to advance collectively and for our private sectors to also advance collectively. Key to all of this is the integration of our infrastructure. And that is why we had talks also on the bridge across the Quarantine River. Both of us, Madam President and I, have expressed commitment from both governments in having this signature project completed. As a result, there will be timely advancement of this project, recognizing the transformational role it can play for tourism, trade, connectivity, and people-to-people exchanges. We have agreed to have a specific coordinating group look at addressing all outstanding issues, technical, financial, legal issues, so that we can advance this project in an efficient manner. Both of us, Madam President and I, reiterated our unwavering commitment to the peaceful settlement of border matters through diplomacy, dialogue, and respect for international law. We agreed that the chair of both commissions will meet as soon as possible and thereafter convene the 7th meeting of the Suriname-Guyana Joint Border Commission before the end of this year. We both underscore the importance of maintaining a spirit of good neighborliness in addressing every matter, with the foundational pillars of peace, international rule of law, and prosperity of our people. Agriculture, food security, and fisheries are important sectors for both of us. We both have an enormous opportunity in contributing to the food security of CARICOM and in building out an ecosystem that would position Guyana and Suriname as major food producer in our region. We agreed to establish a joint commission comprising of the ministers responsible for fisheries, technical teams and relevant stakeholders, including the fishing societies themselves and our fisher folk, before the end of 2025 to further advance cooperation in fisheries. As it relates to agricultural cooperation, we agreed to work closely under the Strategic Dialogue and Cooperation Platform. We believe that in advancing the issues of food security, agriculture, and fisheries, that we must have all stakeholders fully on board, integrated, and to have a common strategy and a common platform through which the opportunities can be pursued on both sides. Now, important in the movement of goods and services and people is the ferry service. We recognize that there need to be improvement in the efficiency and reliability of the ferry service. Therefore, we agreed that there is need for urgent review in improving and strengthening the reliability and efficiency of this service, and we have committed to having that review and to take the necessary action that would lead to the improvement of that service. Madam President and I both confirm our willingness to collaborate closer on the regional ferry project, because this is important for us, for our farmers, for our private sector, for the opportunities that both of us can create. And we will be collaborating closely on this matter because it is important for our own business and economic development. The strategic dialogue and cooperation platform is one that we believe can work well and would work well in advancing all of these plans and programs and pursuing the opportunities that lies ahead of us, and in building our partnership and advancing our bilateral relationship. We have reaffirmed our commitment to maintaining this region as a zone of peace through dialogue, diplomacy, and peaceful resolution of conflicts in accordance with international law. We reaffirm the principle of international law and the respect for international law of all stakeholders in this region, and not only the adherence, but also to conduct ourselves in a manner that international law so prescribes. We also restated our support for all constructive efforts in combating transnational crime. As you know, we are both committed to working closely, to collaborating from a security perspective in the fight against transnational crime, drug trafficking, people trafficking, and all manner of transnational crime. Madam President and I both committed to taking a very strong position against transnational crime and to have our security architecture collaborate and work in a close manner in combating transnational crime. We reaffirm our dedication to strengthening the bilateral partnership between Suriname and Guyana and to working together in the interests of our people and in the interests of the people of CARICOM and this region as a whole. Important to this is also advancing the opportunity for technology transfer, knowledge sharing, and educational cooperation. We express, once again, I want to express our appreciation to Madam President, your cabinet, the government, and the people of Suriname for the warm hospitality extended to my delegation during this visit. I want to assure Madam President that we will be maintaining this dialogue, cooperation, and we'll be advancing with vigor this relationship and the opportunities that lies ahead of us as two not only neighbors but great friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
final phases of work in the approach road and the roundabout from the Heroes Highway leading on to the new Demerara Harbor Bridge. From everything I've seen and I've been told, we are looking for a opening before the end of this month. When I say opening fully for traffic. So the final phase of testing in relation to the roads, the load testing on the bridge is ongoing also. The full load testing will be completed on the bridge so that we will have this project ready for use long before the end of this month. So I'm pleased to see the final phase of the approach road work and the roundabout. From what I've seen, that would also be completed in the course of another three days maximum, from what I'm told. What we are also looking at is the expansion of the Heroes Highway into adding 2 collectors lane to take the traffic that goes directly onto the what we call the Hogsbush interconnection going all the way back to Ogle. So the engineers are looking at that also so that you can have greater efficiency in terms of traffic flow. On the west side of the bridge, of course, there's a collector lane that has been added to take the traffic from the west bank directly off of the bridge and to put it back on the west bank carriageway instead of going around the roundabout on the west side of the bridge. So these additional work are being completed so that we can have a beautiful bridge, but also good traffic management in the process. The ultimate goal is to have, for the greatest efficiency is to have 2 flyovers, one on the Hero Highway and one on the West Bank, but that is, those are projects we're looking at down in the future and not immediately. So we'll see how this design in terms of traffic management work, but definitely with the growth of the traffic, we'll have to have an unimpeded flow of traffic coming off the bridge over the new highway on both sides, going on to, whether you're going on to the East Coast or the East Bank or the West Coast and West Bank. So that is where we are.
Welcome to this week's edition of Weekly Digest, your front row seat to the policies, programs, and people shaping Guyana's development journey. Each week, we go beyond the headlines to follow ministers of government as they implement the administration's agenda, one step, one story, and one community at a time. The Ministry of Education launched Education Month 2025 with an engaging and flavorful kickoff, a baking competition at the Better for Acting Practical Instruction Center. The event, titled What's in the Oven, is the first of its kind, organized by the ministry's Edu-FM department. Minister of Education, Sonia Parag, opened the competition and emphasized the importance of vocational skills like baking alongside academics.
Academics is known. Academics is where you have people striving for all the time, but you're seeing a growing interest in technical skills. You're seeing a growing participation, and you're seeing a growing investment in technical training. And technical training for me is like a rubber band. It's like elastic. It gives you that leverage to make sure that you can not only learn one skill, but you can learn more skills. And it equips you as an all-rounder, even if you want to be an academic.
The Ministry of Amerindian Affairs and the National Art Gallery launched the annual Amerindian Heritage Art Exhibition and Fashion Show at Castellani House, providing indigenous artists with a platform. On display were traditional paintings, sculptures, hand-woven textiles and crafts rooted in indigenous traditions. Sarah Brown, the newly appointed Minister of Amerindian Affairs, highlighted that more opportunities will be given to artists to showcase their work in hopes of preserving indigenous heritage. The government has implemented a proactive approach to enhance solid waste management at the Higgs Bosch landfill on the east bank of Demerara. On Monday, Priya Manikchan, the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, visited the Higgs Bosch landfill to address residents' concerns about smoke emissions and a strong odor impacting nearby communities.
I've had a meeting with the engineers and the management of this landfill site. Some of the issues are with the development that's happening in Guyana, we've moved from 400 tons per day to 1,200 tons per day. We've moved from about 100 trucks dumping here to 300 to 400 trucks dumping here. So we have to now increase our capacity of management.
The construction of the new Brickdam police station is progressing rapidly, with approximately 65% of the work already finished. Minister of Home Affairs, Onij Walrand, personally assessed the project's advancement during her inaugural site visit since assuming her position. Accompanying her were Permanent Secretary Andre Ali and Deputy Permanent Secretary Dwayne Adams. The new police headquarters, located at Brickdam, will replace Evelary as the main facility. Similar to Evelary, the new site will offer a comprehensive range of police services.
As a government, we have been speaking of a high-level, world-class police force, and this facility is befitting of that kind of police force where you expect cutting-edge policing, removing bureaucracy, removing archaic methods of doing things.
The building has already been enclosed, with wall framing scheduled to start soon. Meanwhile, key infrastructure installations, including air conditioning ducts, sprinkler and waste systems, along with electrical and plumbing work, are already 90% complete, significantly ahead of schedule. The new police station is projected to be completed by June of next year. The government is currently exploring the most effective way to build a new connector road that will link Providence with the Ogle to Eccles Highway. During a site visit to Heroes Highway on Wednesday, Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgel announced that a new roundabout is under construction at that location. The roundabout will connect the access road of the upcoming Demerara River Bridge to the highway. Minister Edgel was accompanied by Minister of Housing Colin Crowell during the visit.
What we're examining right now is the alignment from the back to come out to the front, which is about 2 kilometers between Heroes Highway and that road.
Additionally, Minister Kroll emphasized that the government is focusing on constructing more road networks and enhancing connectivity throughout the nation. On Thursday, 11 beneficiaries were handed the keys to their newly constructed two-bedroom homes provided by the government of Guyana. The recipients' families now reside in communities including Liliendal, Cummings Park, Sophia, Parfait Harmony, and Westminster. Addressing the beneficiaries, Ministers of Housing Colin Kroll and Vanessa Ben spoke to the audience. Minister Ben urged the recipients to take pride in their homes and to reflect this pride to the care of their surroundings and their efforts to improve their communities. Meanwhile, Minister Kroll highlighted the government's dedication to improving the lives of all Guyanese.
So there's a lot of work ahead for us at the ministry, but ultimately, it is to ensure that all of our citizens live a better quality of life. That's what we want to achieve as a government. And we will work with every community.
On Thursday, Stephen Jacobs, Minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, inspected the National Racquet Centre and the National Aquatic Centre. The purpose of his visits was to evaluate the current condition of these facilities and to receive updates on their ongoing renovations. During his visit, the minister highlighted the government's comprehensive strategy to guarantee proper maintenance of the facilities and their full use by athletes and the community.
So we're going to be having an extensive program where we're going to visit all of our sporting facilities to assess its current state so that we can design a maintenance program, and not just a regular maintenance program, a robust maintenance program, so that we can make sure these facilities are accessible for our athletes, because that is foremost important.
The Sports Ministry aims to equip athletes with the resources necessary to enhance their skills, compete internationally, and proudly represent Guyana. Minister Jacobs highlighted that these initiatives are designed to benefit the people of Guyana by fostering safe environments for healthy recreation. He reaffirmed the ministry's dedication to fulfilling this mission. And that's just a snapshot of how the week unfolded. One step at a time, one community at a time, but many stories continue to be written. That's it for this edition. We'll see you next week with more stories from the heart of government. Hey everyone, welcome to the President's Diary, where we share with you the activities of His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali over the course of the last week. Let's take a look. On Tuesday, President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali met with Ministers of Housing Colin Kroll and Vanessa Ben. Discussions focused on reviewing the ministry's agenda and outlining an aggressive plan for implementing commitments. President Ali subsequently hosted an extensive press conference discussing several issues with members of the media. Chief among those issues is the restoration of the capital city. President Ali stated that his government will launch an aggressive plan to make the city beautiful again.
The mismanagement and inefficiency through which the city is managed can no longer be tolerated. And we believe that it is time for us as citizens and as a country to take charge of this situation. And I want to launch from the government work in advancing the rescue of Georgetown.
To ensure that government services are digitized for easier access and convenience, the President announced the timeline for the rolling out of several digital services. These include the electronic patient record system.
As you know, we don't want the lines that you see in the hospitals and clinics. So we want to move the system into an app-based system where you have appointments, so you don't have to waste your time.
or sit at these clinics for hours.
Guyana's immigration system will also see a major boost, with electronic passport verification systems already being expanded across the country. These efforts, the president said at the press conference, will greatly contribute to the overall development of the country and increase the ease of doing business.
We are now creating service centers in every region to have an integrated office where citizens can go and have any government services dealt with at that office. So they don't have to come to the capital, the ease of doing business, the great efficiency in the use of time, and at the same time, we are graduating all of the service to a digital platform.
The next day, President Ali was in Skeldon, where he met with a room full of rice and private cane farmers. He reminded them of his administration's ambitious agricultural development agenda for the next 5 years. A joint investment meeting between the government, farmers, and private partners is expected within 14 days, once a detailed soil analysis in the area is completed, to finalize an initiative. And in sport, President Ali spent some time congratulating the winners of the 2025 Women's Caribbean Premier League, the Barbados Royals. The head of state also spent some time interacting with spectators at the Qualifier 1 of the men's CPL tournament on Wednesday night. On Thursday, President Ali and his cabinet welcomed the little ones from the Kanashen Primary School in Region 9. On a sadder note, President Ali on Friday extended heartfelt condolences to Ambassador Elizabeth Ann Harper's family and described her passing as a profound loss to Guyana and the wider Caribbean. Reflecting on her legacy, President Ali stated that Liz, as she was called, embodied the principle that the effectiveness of diplomacy depends as much on the personal qualities of the diplomat as they do on the policies they serve. Thanks for watching. Join us next time right here on President's Diary as we continue to document the transformative journey of Guyana's progress under President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali's leadership. Take care.
As mandated by President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, schools across the country on Fridays are taking on a whole new energy. The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Guyana Defense Force, has launched a fresh initiative designed to shape not just minds, but well-rounded citizens. Minister of Education, Sonia Parag, says it's more than just books and classrooms. It is about unlocking talent and nurturing potential. She noted too her pleasure and satisfaction in seeing both teachers and students excited about this new tradition.
I'm pretty excited, and I am very happy to see that it's being implemented in the schools with such energy, with such excitement, with such vigor, because the president's idea that he had, or the idea behind this, the rationale behind this, and it's a really great one, it's that we want to have well-rounded human beings. We don't just, it's not just a focus, because education is far more than just academics. You want to be able to have talent flourish. You want to be able to, you may never know what you possess until you are able to do something different, and then that brings, that develops from an environment like this.
North Georgetown Primary, the Austin Costello Tutorial High, Christchurch Secondary, and St. John's College were among the schools which saw the initiative being rolled out. The program calls on every school to dedicate Friday afternoons to participate in these activities, which range from warm-ups and exercises to football, cricket, and much more.
The young Amerindians from across Guyana are now stepping forward with fresh ideas that can reshape their futures. On Saturday, the Minister of Amerindian Affairs, Sarah Brown, sat down with cultural groups and youth leaders from various parts of Guyana to ensure that their voices help guide the ministry's plans moving forward into the new term. During the engagement, the minister announced that she will be creating a special business fund that will directly benefit indigenous communities across Guyana, giving them access to business loans at 0% interest.
The big commitments we made, outside of the regular land titling, outside of the programs we do, we made commitments to help youth, young people, whether it's in projects, through grants. And we also spoke about things like having loans, because for us in villages, we don't have access to bank loans. And so we said that we'll be creating a business fund where you can be able to access loans at 0% interest to start business to young people and so on.
Representatives from several cultural groups across Guyana had the opportunity to share their experiences and express visions to help chart a pathway for strengthening cultural preservation in communities across Guyana.
As it relates to the ministry newfound involvement with the youth and so on, I think it's a very good, initiative to start off your first or second week asking the youth what they want or what they need. It's good. It's never done before, and it's good to see something new and some changes happening within the country, and especially the Amerindian people, who a lot of times are left behind for I don't even know what reasons possible. But it's awesome, the way our Honorable Sarah Brown came here and she was like, y'all talk to me. Today we're comrades, we're sitting at the table together. It was good. So I think her involvement with the youth and so on would be something great.
My name is Katiuska Rodriguez, Tusha for Kaikan Village. So this is our first time we participated for the very first time in this year heritage. And I must thank the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs for inviting us this year. I was impressed this morning by her gathering us this morning to hear from us. I always wanted a leader that to hear from what we want to see, so we can share ideas and so on. I was very impressed, and I know we're going to continue to work forward. Looking forward for participating next year again, and more performance for next year.
The Ministry of Labor and Manpower Planning has extended its services to the residents of East Rumvelt with a particular focus on empowering the youth. The community outreach, spearheaded by newly minted Minister of Labor and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith, on Saturday marks the beginning of a series of impactful engagements to come.
We're in Self-Help Square. This is where it all started, right here at this shop. I lived here for a very, very long time, so I'm happy to start here in this community. Traditionally, this community has, went in one direction, but I'm hoping to bring valuable transformation that the people in this community can see and appreciate.
Accompanying the minister were staff from several key departments within the ministry, including the Board of Industrial Training, the Legal Department, the Labor Department, the Occupational Health and Safety Department, and the Manpower and Recruitment Agency. Meanwhile, the Department of Public Information, DPI, spoke with several residents who praised the new minister's proactive approach to engaging directly with the community and its young people.
To be honest, since growing up, I never seen no other minister came to the area and do such a outreach. So now that Keoma is in office, he's from Velt, and this is a good initiative he's starting here. I'm very much proud of it.
It's a good idea. It's a good initiative, right? I think it's great. He's here in connection with, I wish more young people were out here today to meet him, seeing that he's the Minister of Labor and Manpower, right? Because I think our young people really need the help, right? And as a resident, I think he's doing a great job here, being here today.
Residents were encouraged to explore the ministry's job bank or the jobs.gov.gy platform as a valuable resource for employment opportunities. The platform offers job seekers the ability to upload their CVs, creating direct connections with employers actively seeking candidates for various roles.
My name is Judith Barrow Adams. It was a long process because I've applied since 2018 or 2019. And it was a lot of phone calls. And at one time you think you're not going to get through, but God is good. Because he said, meekly wait and mama not. And it's not our time, it's God's timing, which is the right time. I'm a hard-working woman. And I'm a person, when I set my mind on something, I want it to be done. It doesn't matter where I get it from. I want it to be done. Once it barely fit me. I built a one-bedroom home on this land about 20 years ago. I think this year make 21. With the intention, at the back of the yard, with the intention of building a two-bedroom concrete home in front as the main home. But as life would have it, sometimes you're on the mountain, sometimes you're in the valley, sometimes you're in between. That's life. And I could remember I bought some blocks to start the foundation for this home. And I wasn't getting the cooperation from my other half. But constant praying, God hears your cry. He answers praise. And a friend told me about this co-home. And I went and applied, same time I applied for my transport because we had already paid for the home, for the land, but we didn't go to apply for the transport. So I went for apply for the co-home and the transport at the same time. And I could remember telling my husband we're just going for the transport. And when we reached there, I told him exactly what we were going there for. And that was it. The offer was either take materials and you find the carpenters to build your own home and you pay them. Or the Ministry of Housing build a two-bedroom home, which I'm having here now. And you give them a certain amount of money. So when my name come up and they said that I'm one of the ones that chose for the home, I was so grateful. And then we had a meeting and they tell us how to go about in paying the money and so forth, which I did and so forth. And here I am. And I'm saying thank you, God, and I'm saying thank you for your favor and the people that you have placed in place for blessing me with this home that I'm living in, that I could call my own home. Thank you.
The government is now looking at a best possible route to create a new connector road linking Providence to the Ogle-Eccles Highway. This was revealed by Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Agil during a site visit on Wednesday at Heroes Highway. That's where a new roundabout is being built to link the access road of the upcoming Demerara River Bridge to the highway. Minister Agil was joined on the visit by Minister of Housing Colin Crowell.
What we are examining right now is the alignment from the back to come out to the front, which is about 2 kilometers between Heroes Highway and that road.
Meanwhile, Minister Crowell noted that the government is placing priority on building additional road networks and improving connectivity across the country. The new Breakdown Police Station is moving ahead at an impressive pace, with about 65% of the work already completed. Minister of Home Affairs Onij Walron saw the progress for herself on Wednesday during her first site visit inspection since taking office. She was joined on the visit by Permanent Secretary Andre Ali and the Deputy Permanent Secretary Dwayne Adams. The new facility will also serve as the official police headquarters, taking over from Eve Leary. And just like Eve Leary, the full range of police services will be available at the new Brickdam location.
As a government, we have been speaking of a high-level, world-class police force, and this facility is befitting of that kind of police force where you expect cutting-edge policing, removing bureaucracy, removing archaic methods of doing things.
The building itself is already enclosed, and the firming of the walls is set to begin shortly. Meanwhile, critical works including air conditioning ducts, sprinklers, and waste systems, as well as electrical and plumbing, are already 90% complete, well ahead of schedule. Overall, the new police station is expected to be finished by June next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, we announce the arrival of our newly re-elected president, Mohammed Irfan Ali. Give him a round of applause, please.
His Excellency the President is accompanied by the First Lady of Guyana, Ms. Aria Ali.
Thank you very much. 5 more years, of course. His Excellency the President of Guyana, Ms. Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali,
Honorable Ministers of Government, Madam First Lady, other government officials, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you. Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite His Excellency the President
to address you, and of course a little later on you'll be given an opportunity to take pictures with His Excellency, fresh off a mandate in Guyana, the largest election victory in Guyana's history. Thank you.
Thank you, Ossie Rogers. Distinguished brothers and sisters,
good evening. It is with great honor that the First Lady and I join you all this evening
in celebrating the great Guyanese spirit, a spirit of resilience, a spirit of love, a spirit of unity, and a renewed spirit that represents prosperity and represent a new era of transformation in Guyana, but transformation that is people-centered, transformation that is built on the foundation of service, that is glued together by love, and that is forward-looking through the eyes of unity. Perhaps one of the greatest and most significant victory in these elections was the fact that those who believe that the old story of division, disunity, hate, and race was the object of the future were defeated thoroughly, because the object of the future is a united Guyana. One Guyana in which all our people will shine, one Guyana in which every religious belief will grow, a Guyana that is built on the foundation of faith, and one in which the unity of purpose is a silent motivation of success. So let me begin with something that comes from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your consistent support to our beloved nation. And thank you for always helping and keeping Guyana alive in your hearts, even while you have built lives in this great city of New York. And allow me also to thank all of you who supported my candidacy and the People's Progressive Party Civic in government. Your confidence in us is not taken lightly and will not be taken lightly. To those who joined the family in these elections, we are united by one purpose, that is service to all of Guyana. But tonight I also extend that same appreciation to those who did not support me, because you too have a right, a sacred right, the right to choose who should lead you. And my government respects that right as being foundational to democracy. Because Guyana must never again allow our democracy to be stolen. We know what happens when that theft occurs. It brings with it not just dictatorship, but the underdevelopment, the hopelessness, and the despair that generations of Guyanese have suffered and still remember all too well. But while we remember the past, we cannot live in the past. We must embrace the future. That, my friends, is the essence of One Guyana. A new birthing, a new spirit of opportunity, one that benefits all Guyanese. Whether you reside in the villages of Berbice, in the city of Georgetown, the savannas of the Rupununi, or here in the diaspora, scattered across the world, you are all part of One Guyana. I see Terry, I see Adrian, and all the faces that represent the great Guyanese spirit. I know many of you are looking with pride and joy in your heart to see the transformation in the images of the new Guyana. On my way to New York for the UN meeting, the pilot asked to see me. And I went to the front of the plane, and he wanted to express to me the Guyana that he is seeing unfolding. And he wanted me to know that the region is proud of the Guyana that is unfolding, and that people in every corner of the world are speaking of the Guyana that is unfolding. But my dear brothers and sisters, the greatest injustice we can do to the Guyana that is unfolding before us is to be negative. It is to be selfish in our speech, our action, about our homeland, about our country. The story of transformation is told by every visitor, by every stranger, and every outsider. But like Jamaica, whose tourism is built by its people, we have a responsibility to tell our own story. And I want us to understand that yes, it's good to be critical, but you also, all of us, we have a responsibility not only to tear the house down, but to lift the house up. We have a responsibility to help to promote this story, because I assure you, the Guyana that we are building will be the world leader on climate change. It will be a world leader on food security. It will be a world leader on energy security. It will be among the best countries in a knowledge economy, innovation, entrepreneurship. It will be a country that is driven on a technological backbone like you have never seen before. It's a country that's embracing AI for rapid transformation. It is a country that we want to be among the best in tourism. But the only way we can ensure these things happen is if we are the best citizens for our country. As if we are the best lovers of our country. We can't expect those from outside to love us who are inside. We have to first demonstrate to the world that we love who we are. And I know how strong your connection to your homeland remains. Many of you left decades for greater pastures, for the sake of your children, for better opportunities, or simply to reunite with family who had already migrated. You've built good lives here. You're settled, successful, contributing to your communities. And while you may have planted roots in New York or elsewhere here in the US, I know a large part of your heart still beats to the rhythm of Guyana. For that, I say again, thank you. Thank you for never forgetting. Thank you for staying connected. And let me assure you that the Guyana we are building is one that is ready and willing to welcome you with open arms. We are building a healthcare sector and an education sector for all of you to be a part of it, that will be able to take care of you with the equal care that you can have over here. Only today, we had a series of meetings with some of your best nursing schools, the top 10 medical school, the top 10 medical university, one of the best AI companies and data center, all ready to make that journey in establishing their footprint in Guyana. And all of this, a big part of this is for your children, because we know many of your children are trying to get into those schools, but they have number constraints. We're going to give your children the opportunity of not missing out right in Guyana. And let me assure you that the Guyana we are building is one that is ready and willing to welcome you with open arms. Whether you decide to return permanently or whether you simply want to invest, mentor, share expertise, or visit for a few months each year, we are ready for you. Very soon, we'll be putting together some investment opportunities for you here in the diaspora and our private sector and citizens at home. I ask you to examine those opportunities and make full use of them when they come your way. At my inauguration, I made a promise. We recognize the vast potential of our Guyanese diaspora to be partners in the transformation of our nation. And we intend to keep that promise. How? By keeping you informed, by encouraging and supporting your investments, by creating avenues for you to participate in key sectors, by tapping into your expertise, your capital, your network, by ensuring regular outreach, and by the modernization of our diaspora unit so that it does exactly what it was intended to do. Be the bridge the vehicle that connects you directly to the transformation sweeping across Guyana. You see, we don't view Guyana as just a country. We see it as a nation. And every member of the diaspora is entitled to be part of our present and our future. Many of you may be saying to yourselves, well, we have heard all these grand promises and plans before. But many of you have also enjoyed coming back and registering, whether it's for the grants now and those that are coming. Many of you have seen the increases in old age pension and are now ensuring that you're on the register for old age pension. Many of you have experienced the changes in the healthcare sector. So, you're right to be cautious, but here is the difference. You don't have to take my word for it. You can see it for yourselves through the news, through social media, through the voices and stories of your family and friends back home, and by coming and seeing for yourselves the transformation is unfolding before your very eyes. This is not hidden. This is not a dream deferred. This is development happening in real time, unfolding at a rapid pace, and it is visible, it is tangible, and it is undeniable. For those who left a long time ago, the Guyana of today is not the Guyana of yesterday. We are no longer the land that people run from. We are now the land that people are running toward. Tonight, as I walked towards President Trump, he looked at me and he said, "You are from the great country, Guyana." Every single person in the room know who we are today. We are the fastest growing economy in the world. We are a land of opportunities. When people return home, they're awestruck by the rapid, visible, transformative development they see. Now, I will not stand here and tell you that everything is perfect. No. But I'll tell you this. Things are on an upward trajectory. Life is getting better. And our plan is to make it better by creating more opportunities for our people. How are we doing this? Let me walk you through briefly. First, infrastructure. We have already delivered an impressive new bridge across the Demerara River, one that is the pride and joy of our nation and the region. And we are not stopping at one bridge, absolutely not. In the pipeline, we have, and negotiations are already underway, a brand new bridge, 4-lane bridge across the Berbice River, a bridge across the Quarantine River with Suriname, a second gas-to-energy plant in Region 6, an economic zone, a deep-water harbor, the expansion of the Demerara Harbor, one Digital Guyana project creating a national digital backbone, fertilizer and natural gas plant, excess power to power the future, industries, manufacturing, agro-processing, the road connectivity, and all the other infrastructure projects that will bridge the hinterland with the riverine communities and the riverine communities with the coastline. We intend to build 40,000 homes in the next 5 years. I know one of your greatest concerns is health care. Some of you worry, if I visit and a medical emergency arises, will I receive the care I deserve? Only today, we signed another agreement with Northwell, who will be implementing our emergency medical services in Guyana. And they will be managing that service whilst we build the capacity over the next 3 years. Here's my assurance. We are building a world-class healthcare system. We are partnering with the best in the world, including Mount Sinai Hospital, Northwell. We're building 12 new state-of-the-art hospitals. We've already commissioned regional hospitals in Berbice, Essequibo, East Coast, East Bank, and West Demerara. And we're upgrading facilities across all 10 regions of Guyana. No Guyanese, whether at home or visiting, should ever have to question the quality of health care they receive. Let us talk about education, which is the foundation of opportunity. We're modernizing the system with new schools, smart classrooms, state-of-the-art computer and science labs. We're investing in better trained teachers, aiming for 100% trained teachers in our schools. We've built more than 40 schools and renovated hundreds across the country over the past 5 years. We're increasing access to education, and soon we'll have universal access to secondary education. But we're not stopping there. We're supporting parents directly through the Because We Care cash grant. We're adding a transportation grant for every school child. We're expanding the school meals program because we don't just invest in concrete and steel, we invest in people. We invest in our children. Free university education, almost 40,000 scholarship under the Gold program, with more than 40 participating universities and colleges across the world. We are putting more money in the hands of people by removing taxes, by increasing the income tax threshold, by providing cash transfers to citizens, by doubling pensions and public assistance, by subsidizing water, electricity, and fuel, by increasing salaries, by introducing new grants for every newborn child, and annual support for our disabled citizens. But I want to assure you that we are not in the business of creating a handout culture. We are not inculcating dependency. Fundamentally, our economic policies are geared towards increasing personal wealth, enhancing sources of income, and expanding opportunities at job creation. Our aim is simple. The net worth of every citizen must grow. That is empowerment. That is why in the last 5 years alone, we distributed more than 50,000 house lots. We created more than 50,000 new jobs. We are ensuring every Guyanese family has the opportunity to own their own home because home ownership provides dignity and financial security. Our next priority is the transformation of communities and villages. We're installing tens of thousands of new streetlights. We want our streets, our roads to be safe, to be livable, and to be respected. We want a national security system that protects our citizens and give everyone the comfort of safety in and out of their homes. Today, as a result of these investments in technology and security, we have some of the lowest crime rate and murder rate in the region and in our history. We're installing tens of thousands of streetlights, as I've said, in every community. And we will continue. We'll build concrete drains, improve sanitation, provide proper parking, proper recreational spaces and facilities. And you know the First Lady is doing an extremely brilliant job at this. We are beautifying our communities. We are enhancing our living standard. In the next 3 years, we'll transform Georgetown. We'll transform the urban centers. We'll bring pride in our neighborhoods. We'll create joy among our children. We will build a Guyana that we are all proud of. We'll make our communities safer. And yes, we will employ stronger technology-driven policing to protect every citizen. When you go home to your village, it must be a place that is wholesome and pleasing. Is this not the Guyana you dreamed of? I know many of you are concerned about security, as I said before. That is why we are modernizing our internal security ecosystem. Cameras are already operational in several locations, and this system will be expanded nationwide. It is already proven effective in crime fighting. And with every new addition, Guyana becomes safer, and we are having positive results. Serious crime continues to decline and is at an all-time low. We have employed what we call eyes in the sky with modern drones, equipped with latest technology in helping us to keep our streets and communities safe. Here in New York, you know the pain of rising prices. Inflation is biting everywhere. In Guyana, we are confronting imported inflation and higher costs, imported costs. But we're not sitting idly by. The gas to energy project will slash electricity tariffs in half. If you look recently in the New York Times, you will see a specific feature on Guyana and the type of global leadership that we are providing. In the last 6 weeks, we have made it on the headline of every single major news outlet. The gas to energy project will slash electricity tariffs in half. We'll maintain stable water tariffs. We'll not impose new taxes. We'll intervene when necessary to reduce prices. And soon, within the next 3 years and less, you would come home to the new terminal, And when you walk through that terminal, you'll not be walking through an airport. You'll be walking through an experience. An experience that the heaven beholds. An experience to celebrate nature. An experience that celebrates biodiversity. An experience that will make some of the airports people speak of today feel a part of us. Something that is different. Something that will emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally connect you with the most beautiful ecosystem of the world. This progress, however, is not just about statistics or symbols of prosperity. It must also be about people. A truly rising nation is one that lifts every citizen, not just a few. And so, we build this new Guyana. As we build this new Guyana, we must ensure that those at the heart of our families and our future are women, our youth, and our elderly. They must be empowered. They must be included, and they must be lifted. Let me therefore speak directly to 3 groups who are central to our vision: women, youth, and the elderly. For women, we are removing taxes on personal health and hygiene products. We are building daycare and night care centers to support working mothers. We are expanding scholarships and employment opportunities, and we are fighting domestic violence with every tool available. For our elderly, we are raising pension. Very soon, women who are at risk will all be having a panic button that is connected to an electronic security system. For elderly, we are raising pensions. We're deploying mobile health units into rural and hinterland communities. We are using telemedicine and virtual clinics. We're expanding residential care facilities. And we're investing in our young people to provide more service in the communities. For our young people, we're delivering free education at every level. University education is now free, and under the Guyana Online Academy of Learning, we have offered thus far almost 40,000 scholarships. This is making a huge difference in the lives of persons who, because of where they live or other personal circumstances, could not have been able to attend university. We are making housing affordable. We're expanding sport facilities, building a world-class indoor arena, a high-performance conditioning center, a cycling velodrome that will produce champions to represent Guyana on the world stage. We're determined to reduce poverty. We're empowering our indigenous peoples. That is why no less than 15% of carbon credit revenues were allocated directly to our indigenous brothers and sisters. We are supporting village-level economic projects. We're expanding connectivity. We're strengthening skills training so that every Guyanese, wherever they live, can lead in the Guyana of tomorrow. We're also attacking and improving transparency and accountability. We're cutting away the red tape that frustrates citizens. We're modernizing public service. We're also taking concrete steps to strengthen the way we engage with you. The diaspora unit will be fully re-energized, and we must thank Rosalinda for the work that she has started and will continue to build on. We want this unit to be a dynamic bridge between you and the opportunities of Guyana. I'll be the first to admit that we need to expand the array of service. We are building government service-oriented centers in every region that are one-stop shop for all government services. The spirit of inclusion, of recognizing that whether you live in Guyana or abroad, you are part of our national family, is what strengthens our collective pride. And it is this very pride, this unity of purpose, that positions us not only to serve our people better at home and abroad, but also to stand confidently on the world stage, where Guyana is now being recognized as a global leader. We're restoring pride in being Guyanese. Guyanese pride in one's country, in our country, is important because it binds us together, giving us a shared sense of identity, belonging, and purpose. It fuels our determination to protect what we have built and to thrive to even greater heights. And today, the pride is not only rooted in what we're achieving at home, but also in how Guyana is recognized abroad. Today, Guyana is recognized globally as a leader in food security, energy security, and climate security. The world is looking to us for solutions. Guyana, once ignored, once dismissed, now stands tall. My friends, I could go on, but we do not have all night. In this land, you pay by the minute. I was by the seconds. I was once told by a good friend that showers are called curtailed to timing. Instead, let me leave you with this appeal. Come home. Come and see for yourselves. Witness the transformation. Ask yourself how you too can be part of this process of remaking Guyana into the land of opportunities that so many of our ancestors dreamt of. I promise you this, I intend to realize the vision of a prosperous, united Guyana. A Guyana where one Guyana means no one is left behind, where development is inclusive, where the color of your skin or the distance from Georgetown is not an obstacle to empowerment. That is the Guyana we're building. And that is the Guyana that belongs to all of us. Those who stayed, those who return, and those who live abroad, but never stop caring, never stop loving. So I thank you for being here tonight. I thank you for your support, your love, and your commitment. And I ask you, together, shall we build this Guyana? Because I know the answer, and the answer is yes. Thank you, and may God bless you and your families. May God strengthen us in unity, and may God lift us up in purpose. With God, everything is possible. And with faith, and with belief, all that is needed in the equation is work. For faith without work is dead. And you're assured that your president and the team that we lead are committed with the rest of Guyana to doing the work that would enable belief and faith to give us the remarkable future we all want for our beloved country. I thank you, and God bless you.
Let's do it over here. Let's do it over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency is asking me to let you know he's available to take photos with every single one of you. There's no need to rush. I also want to say, when the history books of our time is written, His Excellency the President will go down as one of the greatest Guyanese leaders ever. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make a line, please. Please, a line. The President and the First Lady is going to take pictures with everybody until like 3 a.m. If you make a, please, make a line.
There's